Chapter 534. 534 Disgraceful. Usually, a Lever 4 Martial King Realm Corpse Guard would bring 2 or 3 Lever 4 Martial King refined corpses to guard them at all times. It would be impossible to kill a Lever 4 Martial King Realm Corpse Guard unless it was caught off guard and a sneak attack. But even if it was a sneak attack, it wasn't easy, because the corpse guards spent most of their time hiding in coffins. Also, if one's strength was overwhelming, one could kill the other party with great strength. Xingchuan's face was even more smug. The total reward is 91,000 top-grade spiritual crystals. These are the spiritual crystals. Please check them. The old man at the counter took out a jade box and handed it to Xingchuan. The surrounding people became even more envious. 90,000 supreme spiritual crystals. For an ordinary low-rank king, this was definitely a huge amount. It was just a single task, but they could actually earn 90,000 supreme spiritual crystals. This was truly terrifying. There's no need to light it. Xingchuan was very generous. He took the jade box and put it into his storage ring. Then he looked at Lu Ming proudly and said loudly, "See, this is my harvest. I sealed the souls of 21 corpse guards. Actually, this isn't much. I believe that I will definitely have an even greater harvest next time. However, for you, this is an unattainable height." Xingchuan looked at Lu Ming with great contempt. At the side, Xing Yao and Xing Wushuang were sneering at Lu Ming. They were very pleased to see Lu Ming lose face in public. "It's just this little bit, and you have the nerve to take it out and embarrass yourself? Hurry up and scram to the side, let me do it." Lu Ming's face was calm as he glanced at Xingchuan and said indifferently. The disdain in his tone was extremely obvious. "What did you just say? I'm such a disgrace. Damn it. Can you take out more soul-sealing crystals?" Xingchuan's eyes were burning with fire as he roared. The surrounding onlookers also looked at Lu Ming curiously. What made Lu Ming so confident? Could it be that Lu Ming's harvest was greater than the Holy River? "Take it out. Hurry up and take it out. If you can't take it out today, I will make you swallow the words you said just now." "Walala!" Xingchuan was originally shouting angrily, but the next moment, Lu Ming waved his hand and a large pile of soul-sealing crystals on the counter clattered, making Xingchuan's shouting stop abruptly. Xingchuan's eyes were as big as copper bells, staring at the large pile of soul-sealing crystals on the counter, his lips trembling. All around, the other onlookers were similar. Each and every one of their eyes almost popped out as they stared at the pile of soul-sealing crystals on the counter in disbelief. Xing Yao and Xing Wushuang had similar expressions. They were dumbfounded. "It's fake. It's definitely fake. Lu Ming, the souls of the Sky Corpse Sex Corpse Guards are definitely not sealed inside. Lu Ming, are you using the souls of demonic beasts or hunting ordinary warriors to seal their souls to cheat for rewards? How dare you? Lu Ming, you've committed a heinous crime that deserves to be executed." At this moment, Xingchuan came to his senses. He pointed at Lu Ming and roared. He immediately pinned the blame of killing ordinary martial artists to obtain rewards on Lu Ming. Around them, the way the others looked at Lu Ming had changed. Some of them believed Xingchuan's words. After all, the pile that Lu Ming had taken out was too much. There were at least more than 100 pieces. Could Lu Ming kill more than 100 corpse guards? How was that possible? "Idiot!" Lu Ming said indifferently. He looked at Xingchuan as if he was looking at a fool. This made Xingchuan's chest ache, and he almost vomited blood. "What did you just say? What did you just say?" Xingchuan shouted angrily. Lu Ming could not be bothered with him. He could not even be bothered to look at him. He turned to the old man at the counter and said, "Senior, please help me check so that I won't be wronged." "All right." The old man at the counter picked up the soul-sealing jade plates and started to check them one by one. At the scene, everyone's eyes turned to the old man. Xingchuan, in particular, wished that the elder would say that Lu Ming's soul-sealing crystals were fake. Unfortunately, he was destined to be disappointed. The old man started to check the pieces seriously. Slowly, the old man's face revealed a look of surprise. Then, the more he checked, the more surprised he was. After half an hour, the elder finally finished checking all of Lu Ming's soul-sealing crystals. Everyone was staring at the old man, waiting for his answer. A total of 110 pieces, all of which seal the souls of the Sky Corps Sex Corps guards. That's right. The old man said. Whoosh! As soon as the old man finished speaking, the entire place went into an uproar. They are all the souls of the Sky Corps Sex Corps guards. How is this possible? This Lu Ming, what exactly is his cultivation level? To actually be able to kill so many corpse guards, this is too unbelievable. I heard that Lu Ming came from the east to provide reinforcements. When he entered the city, he had a conflict with Xinjiang of the Sheng family. I heard that his cultivation is at Level 2 Martial King Realm. Level 2 Martial King Realm? You're joking, right? A Level 2 Martial King could kill so many corpse guards and seal their souls. Unless he was extremely lucky and all the corpse guards he encountered along the way were at Level 1 Martial King Realm, and they were all alone, how could he have killed so many corpse guards? The crowd's disbelieving discussion came from all around. Shengchuan's eyes also widened in shock. All 110 pieces of soul-sealing crystal stones had sealed the souls of the corpse guards. Even if they were all Level 1 Martial King Realm, the reward he received was much more than his. The old man at the counter announced. A total of 110 pieces, all of which have the souls of the Sky Corps Sex Corps guards sealed inside. Among them, Level 1 Martial King Realm has the most, 55 pieces. Level 2 Martial King Realm has 30 pieces, Level 3 Martial King Realm has 19 pieces, Level 4 Martial King Realm has 10 pieces, Level 5 Martial King Realm has 3 pieces, and Level 6 Martial King Realm has 2 pieces. In total, the reward is 880,000 best spiritual crystals. The old man's eyes were also filled with amazement. Ever since this mission was issued, this was the first time someone had received so many rewards. Silence. The scene was silent. Everyone's eyes and mouth were wide open as they looked at Lu Ming in a daze. A reward of 880,000 supreme spiritual crystals. There were even 10 Level 4 Martial King Realm martial arts, 3 Level 5 Martial King Realm martial arts, and even 2 Level 6 Martial King Realm martial arts. How was this possible? They thought they were dreaming. Impossible, impossible, impossible. Shengchuan was completely stunned. He couldn't stop trembling and mumbling. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. What's impossible? I've been working in the Hall of Mission for 300 years and I've never made a mistake. You're suspecting me. The old man at the counter glared at him. The old man's words woke everyone up. Heavens, what did I just see? The reward of 880,000 top-quality spiritual crystals is terrifying. There are 15 pieces for king tiers and above. How did he do it? The Holy River's Level 4 Martial King Realm piece is really trash in comparison. The surroundings were in an uproar as waves of discussions broke out. Many people even stopped submitting their missions and came to watch the show. Chapter 535. 535 Chapter 535 Slandering. Shengchuan's face was red with shame, and he wanted to find a hole to hide in. He had only sealed the soul of a 4th-tier Martial King Realm Corpse Guard. Compared to Lu Ming's smug look, there was a world of difference. There was no way to compare. They were so many levels apart. Lu Ming was right when he said that he was a disgrace. How is that possible? How did this kid manage to obtain such a great harvest? He was even able to seal corpse guards at Level 5 and Level 6 Martial King Realm? Shengchuan couldn't figure it out. How dare you, Lu Ming? What should you do? At this moment, sacred light suddenly roared, and the sound shook the entire scene. Everyone's eyes were focused on the sacred glory, and they were all confused. Lu Ming's eyes flickered as he looked at the sacred glory and said, "What crime have I committed?" "What crime? You can hide it from others, but can you hide it from me? Lu Ming, with your cultivation level, can you kill a Level 4, Level 5, or even level 6 Martial King Corpse Guard. How is this possible? If you have the ability, tell me, how did you kill him? Holy Light said coldly. Hee, I don't think I need to explain to you how I killed them. Moreover, there's no rule in the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace that requires the Empyrean Heaven Divine Guards to tell me how they completed their mission, right? Lu Ming said indifferently. You're still trying to quibble? Lu Ming, with your cultivation, it's impossible for you to kill so many corpse guards. There's only one possibility, and that is that these soul-sealing crystals belong to someone else. They belong to other Empyrean Heaven's divine guards. He simply deserves to die. Xingyao shouted. Everyone present was shocked and fell into deep thought. They felt that what the sacred glory said made a lot of sense. This was the only possibility that could explain why Lu Ming had obtained so many soul-sealing crystals. How dare you, Lu Ming? You've done something unforgivable. You deserve to die. Sheng Chuan seized the opportunity and shouted. A cold glint flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. He said coldly, "Where's the evidence?" Evidence? There's no need for evidence. This is the truth, damn it. Holy Light shouted. Ha! Lu Ming suddenly burst out laughing and said, Shengyao, is this how you should be an elder of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace? Everything was just your wild speculation, and you want to convict me of a big crime. It's simply ridiculous. According to you, in the future, as long as you don't like the look of someone, you can convict them? Laughable, extremely laughable. All right then, I'll say that you bullied the Ditian Divine Guards outside of the Sheng family. You're a big bully, and you've forcefully taken a girl. Shengyao, how should you be punished? Lu Ming's voice spread across the entire venue with an imposing manner. How dare you, you little bastard! You dare to slander me! The Holy Light roared. What venomous slander! This is the truth. You should also quickly kneel down and admit your guilt. Lu Ming sneered. You're looking for death, little bastard. I'll cripple you now. A terrifying aura burst out of the sacred glory, and its eyes were fierce, as if it was about to eat someone. Shengyao, are you going to kill all the other Ditian Divine Guards who don't listen to you? Are you trying to get rid of all the other Ditian Divine Guards and dominate the Tianxian region? Are you looking down on Martial Emperor Di? Lu Ming circulated his quintessential essence and was ready to escape. However, he shouted and put a lot of blame on the holy brilliance. Little bastard, you dare to slander me? Sacred glory roared, but for a moment, it did not attack. Tianxian City was different from the Eastern Palace. In the Eastern Palace, he would be fine even if he killed Lu Ming. However, in Tianxian City, there was not only the Sheng clan, but also the Mu clan. On the surface, the Sheng family and the Mu family were still considered good, but in the dark, they were competing with each other. Xingyao had a lot of enemies. Not to mention the Mu family, even in the Sheng family, Xingyao had enemies. If he did something out of line and was caught by his enemies, he would have a hard time. Therefore, if he attacked Lu Ming in public without any concrete evidence, he was afraid that his opponent would really catch hold of something and use it to attack him. For a moment, his old face turned red, but he did not make a move. He was somewhat hesitant. Damn it, this little bastard, I'll definitely find an opportunity to make him die without a burial place in the future. Holy Light roared in its heart. How dare you, Lu Ming? How dare you be so rude to the elders of the Sacred Glory sect? Kneel down and admit your mistake. At this moment, Sheng Chuan jumped out and shouted. Hee. Lu Ming only sneered in response. Sheng Chuan gritted his teeth and roared, Lu Ming, I think the Divine Glory Elder has a point. Did you secretly harm the other Empyrean Sky Divine Guards and take their soul-sealing crystal? How about this? I challenge you now. If you can defeat me, I will admit your strength and prove that you have the ability to obtain those soul-sealing crystals. Sheng Chuan said loudly, his eyes rolling as he thought of evil thoughts. Holy Light's eyes also lit up. He looked at Sheng Chuan with admiration, wondering if he was muddled from anger or if this kid was smart. In that case, if Lu Ming still did not accept the challenge, it would mean that he had a guilty conscience. They could use this as an excuse to investigate Lu Ming. If Lu Ming accepted the challenge and ended up losing to the Holy River, needless to say, he would be further convicted. Was it possible that Lu Ming had defeated Xingchuan? Lu Ming had just arrived at Tianxian City and was only a Level 2 martial king. How could he be a match for the Holy River? The Holy River had already reached the middle stage of the Level 5 martial king realm. This move could be said to be vicious. Xingchuan also saw the look of admiration in Xingyao's eyes. He was overjoyed. He thought to himself that he was smart enough to think of such an idea. As long as he did this well today, he would definitely be valued by Xingyao in the future. You really want to challenge me? Lu Ming's expression was a little strange. He looked at Xingchuan with a faint smile. Nonsense, don't you have ears? Hurry up, do you dare to accept the challenge or not? If you don't, then your strength is worthy of doubt. Xingchuan sneered. Oh, since that's the case, I'll accept your challenge. Lu Ming said with a cold glint in his eyes. As soon as these words were spoken, a wave of intense discussion broke out in the audience. Lu Ming actually agreed. He actually agreed to Xingchuan's challenge. That's really unwise. What unwise? He's riding a tiger and can't back down now. How do you explain taking out so many soul-sealing crystals at once? That's right. He can only blame himself for being too high profile and not knowing how to endure. If he had endured it just now, he would have lost some face at most. Then, he would have sneaked in to hand in the mission and nothing would have happened. If it were me, I would have done the same. Only by enduring humiliation can I achieve great success. That's right, I was thinking the same. You agree? Xingchuan's eyes also lit up with ecstasy. Lu Ming actually accepted his challenge. That was great. The holy light sneered. Lu Ming, you can't escape this time. Sheng Wushuang's eyes were filled with viciousness. Let's go. We'll fight on the Divine Guard's battle platform. Xingchuan called out. Chapter 536. 536 3 moves. What's the hurry? I haven't received my reward yet. Lu Ming said indifferently. He then looked at the old man at the counter. The old man took out a storage ring and handed it to Lu Ming. Here are 880,000 supreme spiritual crystals. Count them. There's no need to light it. Lu Ming smiled. His storage ring flashed and all the best-grade spirit crystals were transferred into his storage ring. Lu Ming then returned the storage ring to the elder. Now that I've received the reward, I'll have to spit it out later, right? Xingchuan sneered. Oh really? Don't cry later. Lu Ming pursed his lips. Then, Lu Ming stepped forward and walked towards the Divine Guard's fighting ring. In all the sub-palaces of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, there was a Divine Guard battle platform. Let's go and take a look. The people in the Mission Palace Hall swarmed towards the Divine Guard's battle stage. There were 500 to 600 people. Some of them had even used voice transmission talismans to ask their friends and family to go to the Divine Guard's battle platform to watch. 500 or 600 people walking together on the street naturally caused a sensation. Many people were curious and asked around. After hearing the whole story, they also followed the crowd to the Divine Guard battle stage. The number of people in the crowd increased rapidly, and soon there were several thousand people. Lu Ming walked to the front of the crowd. When he arrived at the Divine Guard's battle platform, he was a little stunned because he realized that the Divine Guard's battle platform was surrounded by people. It seemed that some people had received the news and rushed to the Divine Guard battle platform first. So many young experts of the Sheng family have come. Yeah, it's no wonder. Not many people dare to offend the Sheng family. It's normal for the geniuses of the Sheng family to come out and take a look. I hope that Lu Ming can withstand a few more moves. I hope he won't die so easily. I've run so far for nothing. Not bad. A series of whispers sounded in the surroundings. The smile on Lu Ming's face grew wider. Buzz. Arriving at the edge of the Divine Guard's fighting ring, Sheng Chuan stepped forward and crossed a distance of more than 100 meters. He jumped onto the fighting ring and looked down at Lu Ming. Lu Ming, hurry up and come up. Lu Ming smiled and walked up the stairs of the Divine Guard's battle platform step by step. He came to the Divine Guard battle platform and stood opposite the Holy River. Ah, Lu Ming, I didn't expect that you would really dare to accept my challenge. I really don't know where you got your guts from. 3 moves. I'll defeat you in 3 moves. Sheng Chuan's smile was full of disdain. 3 moves? Sheng Chuan, you have the nerve to say that. If it were me, I would have defeated him in 2 moves. No, 1 move is enough. I'll beat him into a pig's head with 1 move. Sheng Chuan, if you really defeat him with 3 moves, it'll be too embarrassing. Sheng Chuan, this kid is so arrogant. I heard that he has repeatedly challenged the authority of the Sheng family. Today, you must cripple him and let him know the consequences of offending the Sheng family. That's right, cripple him. At the edge of the fighting ring, some young geniuses from the Sheng family shouted one after another. Their voices were full of indifference and arrogance, as if Lu Ming was a pitiful worm that could be manipulated at will. The smile on Sheng Chuan's face grew wider. He looked at Lu Ming with contempt and said, Lu Ming, did you hear that? This is the consequence of offending the Sheng family. The next stage? Just relying on the mouths of your Sheng family? Lu Ming smiled faintly. You'll be crying later. Sheng Chuan's eyes were cold. How about this? It's boring to fight directly. Let's make a bet. Lu Ming suddenly said. He still remembered that last time he had a gambling match with Xue Chao, he had made a huge profit, so he naturally didn't want to let go of this opportunity. Bet? What do you want to bet on? Sheng Chuan's eyes lit up. Let's bet on intent crystals, 20. If I lose, I'll give you 20 earth-type intent crystals. If you lose, you'll give me 20 wind-type intent crystals. How about it? Lu Ming said with a smile. Earth element intent crystal? You have one? Sheng Chuan's eyes lit up. He had comprehended the creation of Earth. Lu Ming smiled. With a wave of his hand, 20 pieces of Earth-type profound meaning crystals appeared in the air. They exuded a strong concept of Earth. He had obtained these Earth attribute profound meaning crystals with Han Man and the rest from the scaled demon tribe in the demonic scales dimension. Lu Ming also had a mid-grade Earth attribute profound meaning crystal. After Han Man and the others were killed by Lu Ming, the profound meaning crystals naturally fell into Lu Ming's pocket. It really is an Earth element intent crystal. Sheng Chuan's eyes glowed. Where's your wind-type intent crystal? Take it out. Lu Ming said. Lu Ming, are you afraid that I'll go back on my word? Sheng Chuan snorted. I'm just afraid you'll go back on your word. Lu Ming said. You. Sheng Chuan gritted his teeth, but he didn't have that many wind intent crystals. Sheng Chuan, I have a few wind attribute intent crystals. I'll lend them to you first. I also have a few pieces here. The young men from the Sheng family on the side chimed in and took out a few wind element intent crystals. Sheng Chuan was overjoyed. He received them one by one and said loudly, Brothers, I'll borrow these intent crystals first. I'll return them to you in a while. From his tone, it seemed like he was about to win. And quickly cripple that brat. I still have to go back and cultivate. The other young men of the Sheng family said. Don't worry, it'll be quick. Sheng Chuan took the ultimacy crystal and returned to Lu Ming. 20 intent crystals, not a single one less. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Now what he desired the most was the wind-type ultimacy crystal. But 20 is a little too little. Lu Ming's eyes turned to the young men of the Sheng family. His eyes suddenly lit up as if he had thought of something. Boom! At this moment, Sheng Chuan put away the wind intent crystal, and a powerful aura burst out of his body. The aura of the middle lever 5 Martial King realm. Lu Ming, just lose? Sheng Chuan shouted. Boom! He threw a punch and a huge mountain peak appeared in the sky. It was a few thousand feet tall and it came crashing down on Lu Ming. It was extremely majestic. Lu Ming's body was extremely small compared to the mountain. Is this the first level lower tier of the creation of Earth? It's so powerful. Many low-tier king tiers and even martial artists below the king tier exclaimed in shock. Break! Lu Ming let out a long howl and a spear's gleam shot up into the sky, colliding with the mountain. Boom! The spear radiance collided with the mountain, creating a series of rumbling sounds. It lasted for a while before it exploded. The mountain exploded, and the spear radiance also collapsed and disappeared. Bang! Bang! Sheng Chuan and Lu Ming retreated 7 to 8 steps. The difference was that there was a strange smile on Lu Ming's lips, while Sheng Chuan's expression changed drastically. Detestable! Sheng Chuan roared in rage. He was actually forced to retreat by Lu Ming. It was a great humiliation. They're evenly matched. They're actually evenly matched. Lu Ming can actually withstand a move from Sheng Chuan. Unbelievable! It's indeed incredible. I didn't expect Lu Ming's combat strength to be so strong. No wonder he dared to fight the Holy River. Exclamations came from the surroundings. Chapter 537. 537. It's not easy to act weak. Sheng Yao and Xing Wushuang were also dumbfounded. This little bastard is too terrifying. How long has it been? It actually grew to this stage. Damn it, damn it. Holy light roared in its heart. Sheng Wushuang's eyes almost popped out of their sockets as fear flashed across his eyes. Sheng Chuan didn't use his full strength just now. Lu Ming can't be his match. Sacred Light took a deep breath and said coldly. Many people nodded in agreement. Sheng Chuan was probably just testing the waters, and Lu Ming had most likely used his full strength. Lu Ming, I only used 50% of my power just now. Now take this. Thousand Mountains heaven-suppressing fist. Sheng Chuan roared and his bloodline burst out. Without a doubt, it was also a King Level 6 extreme bloodline. At the same time, he punched out with both fists. Boom! Boom! Heaven and earth shook violently as the vast fist shadows turned into tall mountains. There seemed to be thousands of mountain peaks. Suppress! The Holy River roared, and the mountain in the sky crashed down on Lu Ming. Heaven rank martial arts technique, it's a pity that I haven't mastered it. How many levels of strength do I need? First level or half level? Lu Ming was in a dilemma. He had a plan in his heart. He was going to cast a long line to catch a big fish. He was afraid that he would show too much power and scare the big fish away. Forget it, I'll just use 10% of my power first. Buzz! Lu Ming held the long spear and fired. Break, break! Lu Ming deliberately shouted loudly. He had only used 10% of his strength, but he had to pretend that he had used 12% of his strength. The veins on his face bulged, and he screamed until he was exhausted. Boom! One of the mountains that came crashing down was destroyed by Lu Ming. However, the second mountain fell. Lu Ming thrust his spear again and the mountain continued to collapse. Lu Ming, let's see how many you can defeat. Sheng Chuan laughed and kept punching. The mountains in the sky kept pressing down. Lu Ming held the long spear in his hand. The spear's gleam soared into the sky and turned into a 1,000-meter-long spear, continuously crushing the mountains. Boom! Boom! Rumbles continued between heaven and earth. Fortunately, the Divine Guard's battle platform was wide enough. It was 10 miles long and wide, enough for them to fight. Soon, dozens of moves had passed. Lu Ming had destroyed dozens of mountains in a row and then rushed toward the Holy River. Bang! Bang! With every step Lu Ming took on the fighting ring would rumble. In Lu Ming's hands, lightning flashed and a powerful force of lightning burst out. A lower-tier king. Lu Ming, that little bastard, has already reached the lower tier. His combat strength is so strong that he can fight against the Holy River. We can't let him live. We can't let this little bastard live. Holy light roared in its heart. He could clearly sense that Lu Ming's cultivation was at the early stage of the level 4 Martial King realm. He was shocked. 15 tons of thunder. Lu Ming roared loudly in the fighting ring. As the spear pierced out, the sky was filled with lightning. The mountains were blasted apart. This move was not a martial art technique at all. It was Lu Ming's random shouting. He had no choice. If he used a martial technique like the Dragon God's 3 absolutes, he would probably kill Shengchuan. He could only casually blast out a move and call out a loud name. Damn it, it's not easy to pretend to be weak. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. However, Shengchuan was so shocked that he gasped. With a loud cry, he covered his body with black stones to block the lightning attack. As the lightning swept past, the rocks crumbled continuously. How did this happen? The holy river is actually losing? Nest, that kid is actually this strong. Is the holy river going to lose? There was another round of intense discussion in the surroundings. Damn it, damn it. Shengchuan bellowed continuously, using all his strength to fight Lu Ming. However, Shengchuan was already at a disadvantage and was slowly being suppressed by Lu Ming. The two of them exchanged dozens of blows. Shengchuan was whipped by Lu Ming's spear. He screamed and flew far away. He fell heavily on the ground and spat out a large mouthful of blood. Buzz! Lu Ming rushed forward and stomped on Shengchuan's face, pressing him down on the fighting ring. Shengchuan struggled and roared madly, trying to break free, but Lu Ming was stepping on him firmly and he could not break free at all. He was going crazy. It's over. Shengchuan knew that he was finished. Lu Ming had stepped on his face in public. From now on, he would never be able to lift his head in the Sheng family. His future was also ruined. Lu Ming, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Shengchuan roared crazily. Pa! Lu Ming gave him a slap in response. A slap landed directly on Shengchuan's face. Shengchuan's scream came to an abrupt end, and he was dumbfounded. How dare you little bastard! How dare you slap the face of our Sheng family's hero? You're looking for death. Move your stinky feet away now. I want you to die without a proper burial. The young men from the Sheng family were all shouting. Sacred Glory was so angry that its eyes were burning. What are you shouting for? This is the Divine Guard's battle stage. I should be grateful that I didn't kill him, but what's wrong with stepping on him? Lu Ming swept a glance around and shouted loudly, looking very arrogant. The surrounding young men of the Sheng family were so angry that they almost vomited blood. Ah, don't stop me, I'm going to kill him. A young man from the Sheng family roared. Lu Ming could not be bothered with them. He looked at Shengchuan again and said, Now, you've lost. Hand over the 20 wind attribute intent crystals. Little bastard, you still want intent crystals? You're dreaming. Shengchuan roared. You want to go back on your word? Hurry up and hand it over. Lu Ming shouted angrily. I won't hand it over, what can you do to me? And you want intent crystals? Dream on. Shengchuan laughed. You. Lu Ming pointed at the holy river and gritted his teeth. Ha! Looking at Lu Ming's expression, Shengchuan laughed heartily. However, he could not laugh anymore in the next moment. Lu Ming bent down slowly and took off the storage ring on Shengchuan's finger. What are you trying to do? Give me back my storage ring. Shengchuan screamed. Return it to you? I'm just using my winnings as a bet. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Give it back to me. 20 intent crystals. I'll give them to you. I'll give them to you. Shengchuan shouted. This storage ring was all he had. It's too late now. Lu Ming's fingers glowed and he kept Shengchuan's storage ring. You're cheating, you're cheating. Shengchuan shouted. I'm cheating? Weren't you the one who cheated first? All right, you can leave now, trash. Lu Ming got up and kicked. Shengchuan screamed in pain. He flew out like a broken sack and slid 7 to 8 miles away. He fell off the Divine Guard's fighting ring and screamed in pain. Little bastard, how dare you? You're courting death. Hand over your storage ring, kneel down and admit your mistake, and I can spare your life. The young man from the Sheng family roared in anger. Chapter 538. 538 Doubting Life. After all, Sheng Chuan was a genius of the Sheng family. Now that he had been beaten so badly, they felt that they had lost all their face. A murderous look flashed in Sacred Glory's eyes. It really wanted to rush forward and slap Lu Ming to death. However, this was the Divine Guard's battle platform. As an elder, he didn't dare to make a move. There were some rules that even the Sheng family did not dare to violate. His Sheng clan was the overlord of the Tianxian region, but in the face of the entire Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace, they were still like ants. A bunch of animals, what are you quarreling about? Lu Ming looked at the youths from the Sheng family and berated them loudly. He was as arrogant as he could be. Damn it. The heroes of the Sheng family were so angry that their eyes turned red. They were the heroes of the Sheng family. Usually they were high and mighty. In the Tianxian region, they were the kings. Even if they went to some high-tier empires, the ancestors and emperors of those high-tier empires would have to be respectful in front of them. Since when did anyone dare to scold them? He even dared to call them animals in front of so many people? Their killing intent was almost out of control. I can't take it anymore. Little bastard, I want to challenge you. Do you dare to accept my challenge? A hero of the Sheng family roared. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He immediately looked at the young man and said, You want to challenge me? Do you have any wind attribute intent crystals? If you don't bother me. Lu Ming waved his hand with an impatient expression. Wind attribute intent crystals? I'll borrow it. The young man gritted his teeth and asked the people around him to lend it to him. Many people had to give face to the heroes of the Sheng family. Very quickly, this person managed to borrow 20 wind attribute intent crystals. Now, I have 20 wind attribute intent crystals. Do you dare to accept my challenge? The young man shouted. Lu Ming's eyes lit up and the smile on his lips widened. Oh, fine, I agree to fight you. As soon as these words came out, there was an uproar. Lu Ming actually accepted Sheng Fei's challenge? He's finished. He probably doesn't know Sheng Fei's cultivation. Sheng Fei has already reached the early stage of Level 6 Martial King realm. Sheng Chuan can't even withstand a single blow from Sheng Fei. That's right. Lu Ming's combat strength is only slightly higher than Sheng Chuan's. He's dead. I'll have to spit out everything I've just taken. Haha. Hearing Lu Ming's agreement, Sheng Fei was overjoyed. In a flash, he went up to the Divine Guard's battle platform. Even within the no-fly zone of Tianxian City, it still appeared to be very light. Sheng Fei ascended the Divine Guard's battle platform and quickly appeared in front of Lu Ming. His eyes were filled with cold, killing intent. Lu Ming, you shouldn't have accepted my challenge. It's too late to regret it now. Sheng Fei laughed. Just now, Sheng Chuan seemed to be so arrogant. In the end, he still cried for his parents. Lu Ming pursed his lips. Below the fighting ring, Sheng Chuan, who was recuperating, almost vomited blood. Who was crying for their parents? He was just roaring angrily just now. He was not crying for his parents. Lu Ming was just spouting nonsense. If word of this got out, he would not be able to survive. Don't compare me to that good-for-nothing Sheng Chuan. Sheng Fei sneered. In my eyes, you are all trash. Lu Ming said indifferently. Below the fighting ring, Sheng Chuan was trembling. He was shouting in his heart, if you want to fight, then fight. Don't always drag me into it. I'm already miserable enough. You're looking for death. Sheng Fei bellowed. His killing intent was extremely cold. A terrifying aura burst out from his body. At the same time, a powerful wind concept spread out from him. It was as if a force 12 wind was blowing in the world. The strength of his aura was several times stronger than that of the Holy River. Sheng Fei has comprehended the creation of wind. His moves are as fast as lightning and his attacks are like a storm. He's unrivaled. With Lu Ming's combat strength, I don't think he can withstand 10 moves. 10 moves? It'll be good enough if he can withstand 3 moves. I reckon that Lu Ming must be regretting his decision now. He probably didn't expect Sheng Fei to be so powerful. In the surroundings, many people were discussing and expressing their own opinions. Buzz! A long, thin sword appeared in Sheng Fei's hand. Die! Sheng Fei's body moved and he made his move. Whoosh! Whoosh! In an instant, countless sword qi burst out from Sheng Fei's hands, covering the entire sky and earth, sweeping toward Lu Ming. It was too fast. Lu Ming is finished. Many people thought. However, in the next moment, Lu Ming's figure moved. His figure flickered continuously, shuttling back and forth between the sword qi that filled the sky, trying his best to avoid them. Although it was very dangerous, Lu Ming managed to avoid them one by one. Many people were dumbfounded. Lu Ming has also comprehended the concept of wind. That's why he was able to avoid it. It can't be. I saw that his thunder will had already reached level 1 lower tier. Could it be that he has also comprehended the wind will and condensed will runes? That's terrifying. Lu Ming's body exuded the concept of wind as he sensed the changes in the wind around him. Although his wind concept was not as profound as Sheng Fei's, it was enough to avoid the sword qi. Then I'll use my strength to defeat you. That Sheng Fei shouted coldly, and the sword qi that filled the sky disappeared instantly. Whoosh! The sword qi that filled the sky seemed to have condensed into a ray of crystal-clear green sword qi. It instantly pierced through the void and stabbed toward Lu Ming. He wanted to crush Lu Ming with his powerful cultivation of Level 6 Martial King Realm. Lu Ming's eyes flashed and he thrust his spear. Clang! The tip of the spear and the tip of the sword collided. Instantly, sword qi and spear radiance burst out in all directions. Sheng Fei's body trembled, and his expression changed drastically. He took a dozen steps back. Of course, Lu Ming also took more than 10 steps back symbolically. In the eyes of outsiders, it was a peaceful life. Whoosh! The entire place was in an uproar. Lu Ming had actually blocked Sheng Fei's attack in a head-on attack. How was this possible? What was going on? Wasn't Lu Ming only a little stronger than Xingchuan just now? How could he block Sheng Fei's attack now? He's hiding his strength. Lu Ming definitely hid his strength just now. Someone shouted. Everyone came to a sudden realization. Yes, that was the only possibility. Lu Ming had actually hidden his ability just now. What did he want to do? Could it be that he wanted to lure Saint down here to earn intent crystals? Some quick-witted people had already thought of this and they couldn't help but be stunned. Lu Ming was extremely bold. He actually used this method to earn the esoteric crystals of the Sheng family's heroes. This. Among the crowd, Xing Yao and Xing Wushuang were the most shocked. This was because a few months ago, when they were in the Eastern Palace, Lu Ming was far from being this powerful. It had only been a short while and he had already reached this level. He was simply a monster. Especially Xing Wushuang, who was almost scared to death. When Lu Ming had first joined the Ditian Divine Guards, he had not even been a half-step king. At that time, he could have completely crushed Lu Ming with his strength. But now, he was not even fit to carry Lu Ming's shoes. Why is it like this? Why is it like this? Sheng Wushuang started to doubt his life. Chapter 539. 539. One person challenging an entire clan. This is your strength? It's not much? Lu Ming looked at Sheng Fei and smiled faintly. Die! Sheng Fei bellowed, suppressing the shock in his heart as he charged at Lu Ming. Lu Ming held his spear and charged forward, fighting with Sheng Fei. The two of them seemed to be in a stalemate, and their battle was extremely intense. Then, just like the battle with Xingchuan earlier, Lu Ming slowly gained the upper hand after a few dozen moves. Then, after a few dozen moves, Lu Ming defeated Sheng Fei with great difficulty, causing him to vomit blood. Everyone was dumbfounded. Lu Ming actually won again. You've lost. Hand over the intent crystals. Lu Ming looked at Sheng Fei indifferently. Sheng Fei roared in his heart. He really didn't want to hand it over, but when he thought of Sheng Chuan's fate, he shuddered. He could only grit his teeth and hand over 20 intent crystals. Lu Ming kept it happily, not forgetting to mumble, "What heroes of the Sheng family? They're all trash." Of course, he didn't lower his voice and it spread far and wide. Immediately, the people of the Sheng family were in an uproar. This bastard is too arrogant. Die, I want him to die. Damn it, who's going to kill him? Some young heroes of the Sheng family roared in anger. Even some of the older generation were so angry that their eyes turned red. However, no one came out to challenge Lu Ming. Lu Ming's combat strength was too strange. When he was fighting Sheng Chuan, he seemed to be only a little stronger than Sheng Chuan. However, after the battle with Sheng Fei, his combat strength increased rapidly and he was a little stronger than Sheng Fei. None of them could tell if Lu Ming was still hiding his abilities. Now, Lu Ming was simply unfathomable in their hearts. It turns out that the so-called heroes of the Sheng family are just cowardly rats. Lu Ming sneered. Little bastard, what did you say? Say that again. The Sheng family's heroes were furious. Isn't it? If you don't want to challenge me, then fine, I'll challenge you now. Lu Ming pointed his spear in the direction of the young men from the Sheng family. His fighting spirit soared as he shouted, "Now, I'll challenge you all. All of you, come at me together. Come at me together." The short 6 words were like a storm that swept through the entire scene. The crowd around the Divine Guard's battle stage was in an uproar. Lu Ming had actually taken the initiative to challenge them. He had even challenged all of the Sheng family's heroes at once. Crazy, he was crazy. There were at least 100 young geniuses from the Sheng family present. There were also over 20 king tiers above the lower tier. Lu Ming wanted to challenge all the Sheng family's young men by himself. This was an insult, a blatant insult. He was looking down on the many heroes of the Sheng family. Damn it, this brat should die. Arrogant and ignorant. I'm going to kill him. The heroes of the Sheng family roared in anger. What's wrong? You only know how to scream? Don't you dare to go on stage? Lu Ming continued to point his long spear at the young men and provoke them. There was a hint of madness in his eyes. The reason why Lu Ming had repeatedly provoked the Sheng family today was to establish his might. That's right, show your might. Ever since he came to Tianxian City, he had been repeatedly provoked by the Sheng family. Wherever he went, the Sheng family would provoke him. Lu Ming was already annoyed. Since that was the case, he might as well go all out. He had displayed his power and intimidated the Sheng family. In this way, the Sheng family would surely calm down for a period of time. Lu Ming took advantage of this period of time to improve his cultivation. This was Lu Ming's purpose. They were already mortal enemies anyway, so he wasn't afraid of offending them. Since you're looking for death, we'll fulfill your wish. Brothers, let's go and teach him a good lesson. One of the Sheng family's heroes bellowed and rushed towards the Divine Guard's fighting stage at top speed. In a few breaths, he had covered a distance of 10 miles and appeared in front of Lu Ming. He didn't even try to hide his aura. Late Lever 6 Martial King Realm. He was much stronger than Sheng Fei. Go, go! Buzz! Buzz! The sound of the air being torn could be heard from all directions. The young men of the Sheng family rushed up to the fighting ring and surrounded Lu Ming. 19 people. A total of 19 people. All of them were at least Lever 4 Martial King Realm, and all of them were kings of the lower tier. As for those below the level of a lower tier king, there was no need for them to come up as they did not pose much of a threat to Lu Ming. And the two of us. With 2 long howls, 2 more young men from the crowd rushed up to the fighting ring. One of them was wearing a red robe, while the other was wearing a green robe. The 2 of them were extremely fast. In an instant, they had rushed up to the fighting ring, and the aura they emitted was extremely terrifying. The peak of Level 6 Martial King Realm. It's Xing Chong and Xing Lang. Someone exclaimed. I heard that the two of them started their closed-door cultivation a few months ago, trying to break through to the late-stage king level. I didn't expect them to come out now. Looks like he hasn't succeeded. He's still at the initial king tier, but he's only one step away from the late-stage king tier. Discussions could be heard all around. On the fighting ring, the other heroes of the Sheng family were also overjoyed to see the two. I didn't expect that someone would look down on the Sheng family and provoke us after I've only been in seclusion for a few months. He deserves to die 10,000 times. The blue-robed young man, Sheng Chong, said coldly as his eyes opened and closed like huge waves. That's good. Today is a good day to show off our might. Don't let others think that our Sheng family has no one else. The holy wolf's eyes flashed with a fierce light, like a wild beast. A total of 21 people surrounded Lu Ming. Their combined aura was extremely terrifying. Are you all here yet? If you're all here, then let's start the battle. I'm too lazy to bet with you all on some intent crystals. Lu Ming said calmly. He looked calm as if he did not feel any pressure despite being surrounded by so many people. You're pretending to be relaxed. I'd like to see what kind of strength you have. Make your move. Sheng Chong shouted coldly. Boom. Boom. Instantly, the fighting ring went berserk. 21 auras soared into the sky and the 21 attacks converged, crushing toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming could not avoid it and could only take it head-on. He's dead. Lu Ming is dead for sure. Under this move, anyone below the level of a king tier can only die. Who can you blame for your own death? Do you really think that you can be so arrogant after defeating Xing Fei and Xing Chuan? Even if he has the combat strength of a peak Level 6 Martial King, he's still going to die. Boom! At this moment, Lu Ming exploded. The second bloodline merged with his body, and his true yuan circulated to the extreme. At the same time, the fusion of the three intents erupted. An unimaginable spear light shot up into the sky. The spear radiance seemed to be able to pierce through the heavens and earth. Boom! The joint attack of 21 Sheng family heroes was shattered by this spear light. Buzz! Lan Yu! Lu Ming shouted, his long hair flying in the wind. The long spear in his hand grew to 1,000 meters long and swept out. A full moon appeared on the fighting ring. The moon was a move of the fire gun execution. However, with Lu Ming's current cultivation level, it displayed a terrifying power. Chapter 540. 540. Everyone was shocked. Bang! Bang! The heroes of the Sheng family were all sent flying backward like sandbags. With Lu Ming at the center, the heroes of the Sheng family were thrown backward and then glided along the fighting ring at a high speed. They glided for several miles before they stopped, blood spurting from their mouths. All of them were Level 4 Martial King Realm martial artists, and they could not even withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. The Level 5 Martial King Realm martial artists were also sent flying. They slid backward, but they did not fall to the ground. They could still stand firmly, but blood was flowing out of their mouths. Only the Level 6 Martial King Realm martial artist was able to block the attack, but he was also forced to take dozens of steps back. Even Xing Chong and Xing Lang were forced to take 7 or 8 steps back. The encirclement of the Sheng family's heroes was shattered by Lu Ming's attack. Boom! Boom! Below the stage, countless people saw this scene and completely lost control of their emotions. Their auras exploded out, and their eyes widened as they roared. 3 types of concepts of heaven and earth. Lu Ming has comprehended 3 types of concepts of heaven and earth. 3 kinds of heaven and earth will, all condensed into will runes, and 2 of them have been cultivated to the initial level 1 realm. How did he do it? Impossible. Cultivating so many intents will create resistance between each other. How did he do it? How did it happen? He's too strong. The people from the Sheng family were no match for him at all. They were defeated in one move. He didn't even use his full strength just now. Otherwise, he would have killed Xing Chuan and Xing Fei in one move. So, he wasn't being arrogant. He had the ability to do so. I understand now, those soul-sealing jade plates, how did he get them? By plotting against others? This was completely obtained by him killing the corpse guards. He completely has this strength. Many people around them were shouting. They couldn't control their excitement. They didn't even care if their words would offend the Sheng family. It was too shocking. Why is it like this? Sacred Glory's old eyes almost popped out of their sockets. The aura from his body spread uncontrollably, and many people around him retreated in shock. However, he did not feel anything at all. His eyes were fixed on Lu Ming, full of disbelief. Three kinds of heaven and earth intent realms, all. He had cultivated intent runes and 2 types of level 1 lower tier. But Sheng Wushuang seemed to have lost his soul. He stared at Lu Ming and kept muttering. He found it hard to accept all this. In the past, he had mocked Lu Ming for cultivating multiple concepts at the same time and that he would never achieve anything. However, he had not condensed an intent rune when he cultivated 1 intent. Lu Ming, on the other hand, cultivated 3 intents and had condensed intent runes. 2 of them had even reached level 1 lower tier. Compared to Lu Ming, he was simply trash. No, he could not even be compared to trash. He was like dung. In this instant, his heart of martial arts collapsed. The aura on his body fluctuated, and his eyes were listless. During this period of time, Lu Ming had dealt him a series of blows. Now, just a moment ago, this blow had finally reached its peak and shattered his heart of martial arts. Once the heart of martial arts was broken, it would be difficult for him to advance further in martial arts. In other words, Sheng Wushuang would never be able to break through to the martial king realm. It was ridiculous. Back then, he said that Lu Ming would never be able to break through to the martial king realm. Now, he was the one who had to accept the truth. You're really trash. On the side, Xing Yao noticed Sheng Wushuang's condition and shouted coldly. In the fighting ring, Sheng Chong, Xing Lang, and the others were also shocked. 1 move. Lu Ming had only used 1 move, but the power contained in that move was too terrifying. It far exceeded the peak of the 6th level martial king realm. You want to cripple me with just this bit of strength? Lu Ming held the long spear in his hand, his long hair flying in the wind, his aura wild. Lu Ming, you're quite capable indeed. How about this? Let's call this a draw. Sheng Chong looked at Lu Ming and shouted with a hint of fear in his eyes. The Sheng family was completely doomed in this battle. However, if it ended in a draw, it would be better for the Sheng family's reputation. In the surroundings, some people revealed looks of disdain. It was obvious that Sheng Chong was afraid. A draw? Haha, do you think you have the right to fight me to a draw? Lu Ming laughed and walked towards Sheng Chong, Xing Lang, and the rest with his spear in hand. Lu Ming, don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Sheng Chong roared and retreated. Nonsense, either admit defeat or fight. Lu Ming berated. Lu Ming, that's enough. The holy light shouted coldly, his eyes cold. Old man, is it your turn to interject on the Divine Guard battle platform? Lu Ming did not even turn his head and scolded him directly. Phew. Sheng Yao was a peak king and an elder of the Emperor's Sky Divine Palace. When had he ever been scolded by a junior like this? He was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Lu Ming did not stop and walked toward Sheng Chong and the rest. Damn it, let's attack together. Sheng Chong bellowed. He knew that he could not avoid this battle. There was only one battle. If they didn't even dare to fight and admitted defeat, they would definitely not become a laughingstock. They would also be punished by the Sheng family. Kill! Kill! Sheng Chong, Xing Lang, and the others roared and unleashed their full power. A green divine bird flew above Sheng Chong's head. The will of wind spread out, and a gale swept out. On top of the sacred wolf's head was a giant wolf. On the giant wolf's body, raging flames soared into the sky, and the concept of fire covered the sky. There were also a few other Level 6 and Level 5 Martial King Realm experts. In total, there were 10 of them. Kill, kill, kill. The 10 attacks were aimed at Lu Ming from different angles. 10,000 dragon kill. Lu Ming thrust his spear forward and dozens of three-colored true dragons flew out, pouncing on the 10 Xing family heroes. As for Lu Ming, he took a step forward and rushed towards Xing Chong and Xing Lang. Buzz! The huge spear radiance, thicker than a water tank, was blasted toward the two of them. The two of them were shocked and tried to block it with their ultimate moves, but it was useless. They were hit by the huge spear radiance and were sent flying backward with blood spurting out of their mouths. He flew out several miles before he finally stabilized his body. Below the fighting ring, countless people looked at Lu Ming's figure on the fighting ring in shock. At that moment, Lu Ming was like an invincible god of war. He was undefeatable. A peerless genius. There was only one thought in everyone's mind. Perhaps, in another 3 to 5 years, Lu Ming will be on the list of top 1,000 talents. I think so too. As long as Lu Ming maintains this momentum, he'll be on the list of top 1,000 talents in 3 years or 5 years at most. In that case, we'll have 2 geniuses on the list of top 1,000 talents in the Tianxian region. Below the stage, some people were discussing in low voices. All of you just admit defeat. Lu Ming stared at Xing Chong and Xing Lang. You want us to admit defeat? Impossible. Lu Ming, unless you throw us out of the Divine Guard's fighting ring, don't even think about us admitting defeat. The Sacred Wolf shouted. At least you have some backbone. I'll fulfill your wish then. Lu Ming strode forward. Chapter 541. 541 The Sacred Star. The crowd stared at the fighting ring. They felt that the battle was about to end. At this moment, a cold voice came from the distance. Lu Ming, you dare? As soon as he finished speaking, a beam of divine light shot over from the distance. The speed of the divine light was too fast. It crossed the void in an instant and shot towards the space between Lu Ming's eyebrows. Lu Ming's expression changed drastically. He could sense that this beam of divine light contained a terrifying power and killing intent. His body instantly tensed up, and all the hair on his body stood on end. This was an instinctive reaction. He felt a fatal threat from this divine light. Without any hesitation, he retreated. At the same time, his 9-dragon bloodline burst out, and the devouring power filled the surroundings. The vital essence in his body circulated to the extreme, and the 3 heaven and earth will realms merged together and surged toward the spear. True Dragon Strike. He thrust his spear forward, and a huge 3-colored true dragon flew out and collided with the divine light. Boom! A heaven-shaking boom rang out as the divine light pierced through the 3-colored true dragon. The 3 intents of heaven and earth that it contained also collapsed. Whoosh! The divine light did not stop and continued to stab Lu Ming. Gakudo Path Attack. At the critical moment, Lu Ming stopped his retreat. He became one with the spear and turned into a spear ray, piercing forward. Boom! The tip of the spear accurately pierced the divine light. In an instant, Lu Ming felt a terrifying force surging towards him along the long spear. Lu Ming felt as if he had been hit by a huge hammer. His body slid back along the fighting ring in a frenzy. It kept sliding for several miles before it stopped. He only felt the blood in his entire body surging, and the arm holding the spear trembled slightly. Kacha! At this moment, the tip of the demon's subduing spear made a cracking sound and cracks appeared on it. Then the cracks grew more and more. Finally, with a bang, the tip of the demon's subduing spear exploded into pieces and scattered on the ground. The demon's subduing spear finally could not withstand Lu Ming's powerful strength and the bombardment of the divine light. It exploded. However, Lu Ming had successfully blocked the divine light. Who is it? Lu Ming looked in the direction of the divine light. Not only him, at this moment, everyone also looked in that direction. A slender figure wearing a 7-star robe with his hands behind his back was approaching step by step. Everyone's hearts trembled. Tianxian City had a no-fly zone, so ordinary kings couldn't walk in the air. Only peak-tier kings could barely walk in the air. This person was very young, about 24 or 25 years old. His eyebrows were like swords, his eyes were like stars, and he was extremely handsome. The light of the stars surrounded his body, making him look like a god who had descended to the world. The sacred constellation, it's the sacred constellation. Someone roared. It's over. Lu Ming is finished. I didn't expect that the sacred constellation would be attracted here. This time, Lu Ming is really finished. Heavens, the sacred constellation's cultivation seems to have improved. He can actually walk in the air. Could he have already broken through to the peak king tier? Many people were shocked. A peak tier king at such a young age was simply too shocking. That's not right. The sacred constellation has not broken through to peak king tier. It should still be at the peak of the 9th level martial king realm, still at the level of a king tier of the upper tier. However, his strength is too strong, no weaker than a peak king tier. That's why he can walk in the air. A white-haired old man explained. At the scene, there were other elders besides the elders from Xingyao. This white-haired old man was one of them. Oh, so that's how it is, that's still amazing. The others sighed. How old was the sacred constellation? He was only 25 years old, but he was already at the peak level 9 martial king realm. Did that mean that he had the chance to open the spiritual ocean and become a mighty warrior before the age of 30? Countless gazes were fixed on the young man in the sky. Holy star! Lu Ming's eyes were bright as he stared at the sacred constellation. Ever since he came to Tianxian City, Lu Ming had heard this name many times. Saint Xingqian, the #1 genius of the Tianxian region and a top talent on the list of top 1,000 talents in the Eastern Barren Territory, was the idol of many young geniuses in the Tianxian region. The other so-called geniuses of the Tianxian region were like candlelight and the bright moon in front of the holy star. They couldn't be compared. The holy star stepped on the air and came to the sky above the divine guard fighting ring. It looked down at Lu Ming, and in its eyes, there seemed to be stars shining. Young Master Xingqian. When Sheng Chong, Xing Lang, and the rest saw Lu Ming, they hurriedly saluted him. Their faces were filled with apprehension, as if they were very afraid of the holy star. The sacred constellation was the successor of the Sheng family. In the future, he would definitely be in charge of the Sheng family. It could be said that their fates were all under the control of the sacred constellation. They were naturally afraid of the holy star. Holy constellation only glanced at them indifferently, expressionless, and said indifferently, "All of you, retreat and recuperate." Yes, yes. Sheng Chong and the rest helped each other down the fighting ring as if they had been granted amnesty. After that, the holy star's gaze turned to Lu Ming again. You're Lu Ming. You've got guts to hurt so many people from the Sheng family. Saint Xingqian said indifferently. No emotions could be heard in his voice. It's just a fair fight on the Divine Guard battle platform. Lu Ming said. Hee hee. Sheng Xingqian chuckled and said, You're not bad. I just happen to need a stableman to lead the horses. You can report to work as a stableman for 3 years first. If you perform well, you'll naturally be promoted. Saint Starlight stood in the air with his hands behind his back. His voice wasn't loud, but it was filled with a commanding tone, as if this matter had already been decided. Many people in the surroundings were shocked. They had never expected that the sacred constellation would let Lu Ming off so easily. He even asked Lu Ming to be his groom. In the eyes of many people, being able to become a coachman for the holy constellation was a matter of supreme glory. He was a trusted aide of the holy constellation, and his status would rise with the tide. A casual word from him would cause many emperors of large countries to be in fear and revere. Moreover, he might even receive guidance from the holy star. What an honor this was! In the eyes of many, this was not a punishment, but a reward. It seems that Lu Ming's talent has been valued by the holy star. Someone sighed. Detestable. Sheng Wushuang gritted his teeth. He was extremely jealous of Lu Ming. If this opportunity were to fall into his hands, he would wake up smiling even in his dreams. Now, this opportunity fell on Lu Ming. Do you think Lu Ming will agree? Someone asked in low voice. Nonsense, of course he'd agree. Who's the holy star? Lu Ming is a genius on the list of top 1,000 talents. Although he's very talented, I estimate that there's still a huge gap between him and the holy star. It's not bad that he can become a groom for the holy star. That's right. If he didn't agree, the holy constellation definitely wouldn't let him off. In such a situation, he would definitely agree. That's right, being a stableman for the holy constellation isn't something to be ashamed of. Many people in the surroundings were making guesses out of curiosity. However, no one noticed that the corners of Lu Ming's mouth curled into a disdainful smile. Chapter 542. 542 Meeting Mulan again. Sacred constellation, right? There was a faint smile on Lu Ming's face as he stared at the sacred constellation. At this moment, the entire place quieted down. Everyone looked at Lu Ming to see how he would answer. Holy Star, I think you're not bad either. My family's courtyard is lacking a gatekeeper. Pack up and quickly go report. A clear voice came out of Lu Ming's mouth, but it was like a storm that swept the entire scene. Everyone was stunned. After a long while, there was a loud noise. Lu Ming, he rejected it. Not only did he refuse, he even asked the sacred constellation to guard the door for him. Heavens, how dare he! This is just adding fuel to the fire. Not only did he refuse, but he also asked the holy constellation to guard his door. Does he have the qualifications? All around, there was a wave of excited discussion. How dare you, Lu Ming? How dare you speak to the young master of the Sheng family like that? The young master of Xingqian is looking up to you by letting you be his coachman. Many people seek knowledge but can't get it. You actually dare to speak like this. You're simply arrogant, ignorant, and stubborn. On the side, Sacred Glory scolded loudly. As for Sheng Wushuang, he was about to die from laughter. He was overjoyed. He was really afraid that Lu Ming would agree to it. Rejected it? Saint Constellation's face was still calm, and no expression could be seen as he asked indifferently. Nonsense. It's their business if the others are willing to be your dogs, but why would I, Lu Ming, do that? In this world, no one can make me a horse groom, including you, Holy Star. Lu Ming said loudly. As soon as this remark came out, it caused a wave of curses for a short time. Nest, how ignorant and arrogant. Who does he think he is? You're a little talented, but you really think you're number one in the world. How ridiculous. He's comparing himself to the sacred constellation. Who does he think he is? What right does he have to be mentioned in the same breath as the young master of Xingqian? At this moment, Holy Star's expression finally turned cold. With a wave of his hand, as if there was a huge magical power, the entire scene immediately quieted down. I gave you a chance, but you didn't know how to cherish it. Since that's the case, I'll cripple you. A cold voice came out of Xingqian's mouth. Boom! In the next moment, the starlight on the holy constellation burned like a flame, illuminating the entire sky. This is Star Intent Realm. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. In the world, other than the 9 common concepts of heaven and earth such as wind, fire, and thunder, there were also many special concepts. However, these special concepts were usually extremely difficult to comprehend, but their power was usually extremely powerful. The Star Intent Realm was such a special intent realm. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In the next moment, the light of the stars condensed into dozens of long swords. They pierced through the air and aimed at Lu Ming's vital parts. Wherever the stars passed, terrifying sonic booms were created. You can't take it head-on. Lu Ming's pupils suddenly constricted. The sacred constellation was too powerful, and it was not something he could resist at all. Retreat. Without hesitation, Lu Ming turned around and used the 9 dragons' heaven-trampling steps. He took a step forward and retreated at an extreme speed. His speed was terrifying. "You still want to leave in front of me?" Xingqingshan shouted. The starlight on his body became even more dazzling. At the same time, above Lu Ming's head, streams of starlight fell from the sky, condensing into a huge hand that pressed down on Lu Ming. This huge hand seemed to have appeared out of thin air above Lu Ming's head. He could not avoid it. "Block it!" Lu Ming growled. Two types of blood vessels burst forth and a lower lever 5 spear appeared in his hand. His vital essence circulated wildly and 3 types of concepts burst forth. He thrust the spear at the star hand. Boom! With a deafening boom, Lu Ming's body fell from the sky like a meteorite. He crashed heavily at the edge of the fighting ring and coughed up blood. Bang! The lower lever 5 spear in Lu Ming's hands shattered into pieces. A mantis trying to block a car, overestimating your own strength. It's just a meaningless struggle. Holy Star's eyes were indifferent. He stood in the void with his hands behind his back, looking down at Lu Ming from above, like an emperor who ruled over everything. Holy Star, what the hell are you pretending for? Do you really think you're a heaven's favorite who can look down on everything? You're only ranked 998th on the list of top 1,000 talents, and there are a lot of people who are stronger than you. What are you so arrogant for? Also, how old are you? You're 5 years older than me. What's there to be proud of? If I cultivate for another 5 years, I can defeat you with one finger. Lu Ming roared. He stood up straight and stared at the sacred constellation with bright eyes. His words made many people's eyes light up. Indeed, how old was Lu Ming now? At the age of the sacred constellation, it would be too exaggerated to say that a finger could suppress the sacred constellation, but it might not necessarily be unable to reach the height of the sacred constellation. Previously, everyone had witnessed Lu Ming's combat strength and talent. Some people felt that Lu Ming had the potential to be on the list of top 1,000 talents. You're quite self-confident. On the path of martial arts, one step is stronger than the other. You will never be my opponent. Hee, I'm not interested. So, I'll just cripple you first. A cold voice came out of Xingqingshan's mouth. Starlight surged around him, and he was about to launch the next wave of attack. It seems that I can only use the Thunder Cauldron. With my current cultivation, I can definitely kill the sacred constellation with a single strike if I use the Thunder Cauldron. However, I've also lost the power to resist. But now I have no choice. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with ruthlessness. He immediately focused his mind and communicated with the lightning cauldron. Between Lu Ming's brows, a faint light flickered with wisps of lightning energy. He could control the lightning cauldron at any time to deliver a fatal blow. Stop! At this moment, a soft shout was heard. Gah! Immediately after, a bird's cry was heard. Everyone saw a large green eagle flying over at high speed. 2 figures were standing on the eagle. Mu Shuyuan and senior sister Mu Lan. Lu Ming's gaze flickered. The 2 people on the eagle's back were Mu Lan and Mu Shuyuan. That's Miss Mu Lan. What is Miss Mu Lan doing here? Many people were curious. Sacred Constellation's eyes flickered slightly, and the starlight on his body also calmed down, not continuing to attack. Gah! The condor screeched, and in the next moment, it appeared in the sky above the Divine Guard fighting ring. Mu Lan and Mu Shuyuan jumped down from the eagle's back and appeared on the Divine Guard fighting ring. Lu Ming, are you all right? Mu Lan immediately walked toward Lu Ming with a look of concern in her eyes. It's just a small injury. I'm fine. Senior sister Mu Lan, it's been a long time since we last met. Lu Ming smiled faintly. It had been more than a year since he last saw Mu Lan. She had become more mature and charming. The curves on her body were even more shocking. One look at her and one would be unable to suppress the urge in their heart. Countless eyes were fixed on Mu Lan from all around. It's been a long time indeed. Lu Ming, I didn't expect you to come this far. You didn't disappoint me. Mu Lan revealed a faint smile. Lenda, get out of the way. This brat has injured many of our Xing family's heroes. He's too arrogant. Let me cripple this brat first. Holy Constellation coldly spoke. Chapter 543. 543 The Battle in Half a Year. The moment Mulan arrived, she was chatting and laughing with Lu Ming as if there was no one else around. This made the murderous intent in his heart surge. Sacred Constellation, let him go. Let Lu Ming go. Mulan then turned around and looked at the Sacred Constellation. Lan, what did you just say? Holy Constellation's face darkened, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Sacred Constellation, with me here today, don't even think about harming a single hair on his head. Mulan said. Mulan. The killing intent in Xing Xingqian's eyes was like a storm. Mulan was his fiancée from the Sacred Constellation. However, she was now protecting another man in front of everyone. Where was his face now? At this moment, the killing intent in the heart of the Sacred Constellation towards Lu Ming had not weakened. Instead, it had become stronger. Originally, I only wanted to cripple him, but now he must die. A cold and emotionless voice came out of Xing Xingqian's mouth. You dare! Mulan stood in front of Lu Ming. At this moment, the surrounding audience looked at each other. Some quick-witted ones had already noticed something and revealed strange expressions. Mulan, you think you can stop me? Get out of my way. With a wave of Sacred Constellation's hand, starlight burst forth like ribbons of light, entangling Mulan and Mu Shu. Boom! Boom! Mulan and Mu Shuyuan released their powerful auras. After not seeing each other for a while, Mulan had already reached the Martial King realm, and Mu Shuyuan had also reached the peak of the 6th level of the Martial King realm. However, it was all in vain. Under the starlight of the Sacred Constellation, he had no power to resist at all. He was directly entangled by the starlight and pulled to the side of the Sacred Constellation. Senior Sister Mulan. Lu Ming roared. Lu Ming! Mulan also shouted. Lu Ming, let's see who can save you now. Under the pressure of the sacred stars, there was only cold killing intent. Previously, he had thought that Lu Ming was talented and wanted to take him in for his own use. Now, he was determined to kill him. Boom! A cold killing intent and a powerful aura burst out from Xing Xingqian's body. He clenched his fist in the air and a starry sword appeared in his hand. It's still not certain who will live and who will die on the holy star. Lu Ming's eyes were also extremely cold as he stared at the Sacred Constellation. Wisps of lightning swam between his eyebrows. You! Holy Star sneered contemptuously. He took a step forward, and the Divine Guard's battle platform rumbled violently. Lu Ming's eyes shone brightly, and the ruthlessness in his eyes intensified. He knew that even if he could kill the Sacred Constellation with the Thunder Cauldron, he would not be able to survive. The other members of the Sheng family would not let him go. Furthermore, the secret of the Thunder Cauldron would be exposed. But now, he had no other choice. Holy Star, I promise you. As long as you let Lu Ming go, I promise to marry you a year later. At this moment, Mulan shouted. Holy Constellation's figure paused and stopped. He then turned around and looked at Mulan. It seems that this kid really has some weight in your heart. You don't have to worry about that. I promise to marry you in a year's time. As long as you let Lu Ming go, I'd rather die than marry you if you kill him. Mulan said. Senior Sister Mulan, you can't. Lu Ming roared. However, Mulan ignored Lu Ming. She only stared at the Sacred Constellation. Okay, I promise you, but not 1 year later, but half a year later. After half a year, you and I get married, and I'll let this kid go. Holy Star said coldly. Half a year. Mulan gritted her teeth. She glanced at Lu Ming and said, All right, I promise you. Seeing that Mulan had agreed, Sacred Constellation waved its hand, and the starlight that had wrapped around Mulan and Mu Shuyuan dissipated. The two of them regained their freedom. Once the two of them regained their freedom, They walked toward Lu Ming. Senior Sister Mulan, why did you agree to him? He might not be able to kill me. Lu Ming said, his heart full of unwillingness. Mulan smiled faintly. She thought that Lu Ming was speaking in a fit of anger and did not take it to heart. Lu Ming were engaged after all. Perhaps this is fate. I've always wanted to escape but I can't. A long sigh sounded softly. Giggle. Lu Ming clenched his fists so tightly that cracking sounds could be heard. He knew that Mulan was doing this all because of him. Otherwise, with Mulan's personality, she would never agree to it. Lu Ming, with Lan, pleading for you today, I'll spare your life. Xing Xingshan said coldly. After that, he revealed a look of contempt and continued, Lu Ming, do you think you're worthy of being mentioned in the same breath as me? You can only hide behind women. With that, he smiled contemptuously and turned to leave. At this moment, Lu Ming's voice was heard. Holy Star, since that's the case, do you dare to accept my challenge? Whoosh! Lu Ming's voice was like a storm, sweeping through the entire scene again. Many people were dumbfounded. What did I just hear? Lu Ming actually wants to challenge the sacred constellation? He's so bold. He's looking for death. Arrogant and conceited. This is what you call arrogant and conceited. The entire place burst into an earth-shattering uproar. It had been a few years since anyone from the younger generation in the Tianxian region had dared to challenge the sacred constellation. You want to challenge me? Holy Constellation turned around and asked. Even he was a little surprised. That's right. Half a year from now, you and I will fight. Do you dare? Lu Ming said loudly. Half a year later. The corners of Sacred Constellation's mouth curled into a cold smile. He glanced at Mulan and said, do you really think that you can catch up to me in half a year? Fight me? You don't need to worry about this. Lu Ming said. Lu Ming, you can't. You don't have to. Mulan said anxiously. He knew that the reason why Lu Ming chose to challenge the sacred constellation in half a year's time was definitely related to her. However, given Lu Ming's cultivation base, he would not be a match for the sacred constellation in half a year. If Lu Ming could fight above his level, so could the sacred constellation. If Lu Ming could improve, the sacred constellation would also improve continuously. It was almost impossible to catch up to Holy Constellation in just half a year. It was not that she did not have confidence in Lu Ming. She was very confident in him. She believed that in a few years, Lu Ming would definitely be able to catch up to the sacred constellation. However, half a year was too short. Lu Ming waved his hand and interrupted Mulan. Senior Sister Mulan, this battle is inevitable. Even if it's not for you, I'm going to pay you back for the humiliation I've suffered today. Lu Ming's voice was firm and unquestionable. Sacred constellation, just one word. Do you dare? Lu Ming's eyes were bright as he stared at the holy star. Alright, I promise you. Half a year later, I will let you know what despair is. You will never be able to catch up to my footsteps. Sacred Constellation's confident voice reverberated throughout the entire area. The scene was boiling with excitement. The Holy Constellation had actually accepted Lu Ming's challenge. The two of them would fight half a year later. Moreover, this battle was very interesting. If the Sacred Constellation was defeated, the wedding date between him and Mulan would definitely be affected, or even cancelled. If Lu Ming was defeated, the Holy Star would carry the momentum of victory and marry Mulan. From now on, the Tianxian region would truly be the world of the Sacred Constellation. Chapter 544. 544 The Fourth Region. Do you think there's any hope for Lu Ming in 6 months? How is that possible? In half a year's time, the Holy Star would have entered the Peak King's realm. How could Lu Ming have any hope? There's no hope at all. I think so too, but I'm still looking forward to it. Me too. We can't miss this opportunity in half a year. The crowd was in a heated discussion. At this moment, Sacred Constellation did not say anything more. It turned around and stepped into the air, disappearing into the horizon in the blink of an eye. This Lu Ming has escaped again, Sheng Wushuang said through gritted teeth. So what if you escape this time? He'll still die in half a year, so I'll just let him live for another half a year. Sacred Light snorted. But Sheng Wushuang was still worried. Lu Ming was simply too freakish. During this period of time, Lu Ming's cultivation would increase explosively every once in a while. Sheng Wushuang was already a little afraid. He was afraid that the next time they met, he would not know what level Lu Ming had reached. Even if Lu Ming has some talent, do you really think that he can catch up to the young master of Xingqian in just half a year? That's impossible. Xing Yao said. Not bad, not bad. Sheng Wushuang kept consoling himself, but he was still very nervous. Then the crowd slowly dispersed. However, the news of Lu Ming challenging the Holy Star in half a year's time, as well as the news of Sheng Wushuang and Mu Lan's marriage, spread like a hurricane. It caused an earthquake-like sensation. On the Divine Guard battle platform. Lu Ming, you shouldn't have challenged the sacred constellation. Mu Lan cast a reproachful glance at Lu Ming. However, she did not know why, but she was happy. She knew that Lu Ming had challenged Sheng Wushuang mostly because of her. Senior Sister Mu Lan, why do you have so little confidence in me? Don't worry, I'll beat Sheng Wushuang up so badly that he can't marry you in half a year. Lu Ming said with a smile. You're still so confident. Mu Lan rolled her eyes at Lu Ming, a smile tugging at the corners of her lips. AI, Senior Sister Mu Lan, by the way, why don't you want to marry the sacred constellation? This guy, although he has an arrogant expression that makes me unhappy, but to be honest, he's quite capable and he's not bad looking either. Wait, don't tell me you're not marrying him because you like me? Lu Ming stared at Mu Lan with a smile. Take a fancy to you? Stop dreaming. Mu Lan pouted and her face turned red. He then sighed. No one wanted their fate to be decided since they were young. Moreover, it's hard to say when it comes to matters of the heart. Although the sacred constellation is a genius, it just doesn't have any feelings for him. Oh. Lu Ming seemed to be smiling. Cough, cough. At this moment, Mu Xiyuan, who was at the side, coughed a few times and said, Shouldn't we leave this place first? Yes, yes, let's go. Mu Lan's face reddened as she hastily said. Lu Ming's gaze and smile made her a little overwhelmed. Then, Mu Lan beckoned for the eagle in the sky to leave. She, Lu Ming, and Mu Xiyuan walked down the fighting ring and headed to a street. Lu Ming, where are you staying now? Mu Lan asked. You're blocking houses in the city. Lu Ming said. Oh, how about this? You can move to the 4th district. You can cultivate faster in the 4th district. I'll arrange a courtyard for you. Mu Lan said. Mu Lan's father was the palace master of the profound sky subpalace, so he had the authority to arrange a courtyard in the 4th area. Then, the three of them walked toward the 4th area. The 4th region was separated by city walls, and experts were guarding the city gates. Ordinary people were not allowed to enter, or they would be killed without mercy. However, with Mu Lan and Mu Xiyuan leading the way, Lu Ming naturally entered the 4th area without any obstacles. What a strong spiritual qi of heaven and earth! What a strong will of heaven and earth! As soon as he entered the 4th area, Lu Ming was amazed. He found that the spiritual qi here was so dense that it was almost tangible. The intent realm of heaven and earth was even stronger than the Tao Enlightenment Palace in the east. It was hard for one's cultivation not to improve after living here for a long time. It was no wonder that there were so many experts and martial king realm experts in the younger generation of the Sheng family. In such an environment, even a pig would be able to cultivate to a decent realm. Mu Lan and Mu Xiyuan led Lu Ming deeper into the 4th area. Soon, they arrived in front of a courtyard. Miss Mu Lan. An old man bowed to Mu Lan at the entrance of the courtyard. Yes. Elder Qian, Lu Ming will be staying in this courtyard in the future. Mu Lan pointed at Lu Ming. Elder Qian glanced at Lu Ming, A hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. He then nodded and said, "Yes." "Lu Ming, let's go in and take a look at the environment." Mulan smiled. "All right." Lu Ming nodded. The three of them walked into the courtyard. In terms of size, this courtyard wasn't as big as the East Heaven courtyard in the east. This was normal. This was the fourth region of Tianxian City. Its value was terrifyingly high. Naturally, it wouldn't be that big. However, the decorations were very elegant and very suitable for cultivation, comprehension of intent and martial arts techniques. Lu Ming was very satisfied. The three of them walked around and returned to the courtyard. "Lu Ming, this token is for you. With this token, you can freely enter and exit the fourth area." Mulan took out a purple token and handed it to Lu Ming. Lu Ming took it and kept it. "Senior Sister Mulan, I wonder if there are any inscription masters in Tianxian City. I would like to ask them to help me forge a spear." Lu Ming asked. The demon-subduing spear's tip had already shattered. As for the ordinary lower-level 5 spears, Lu Ming still had 2 of them which he had gotten from others. However, they were of lower level 5 and were not of much use. Of course, there are inscription masters in Tianxian City, and there's more than one. "What grade of spiritual weapon do you want to make?" Mulan asked. "It'd better be a level 6 one." Lu Ming said. "Level 6? Mulan and Mu Shuyuan were both shocked. A 6th level spirit weapon was a spirit weapon used by Sea of Soul Realm experts. Its power was extremely terrifying, but the materials it required were also frighteningly expensive. Lu Ming actually wanted to refine a level 6 spear. Lu Ming nodded. His cultivation was progressing very quickly, and his true essence was too abundant, 10 times that of an ordinary person. The martial skills he cultivated were also extremely overbearing, and the requirements for spirit weapons were extremely high. Normal spirit weapons wouldn't be able to withstand his explosive power. The material of the demon-subduing spear was already very good, but it still couldn't withstand it. Only a 6th level spiritual weapon would be enough for Lu Ming to use for a while. "Lu Ming, the price of refining a 6th level spiritual weapon is terrifyingly high. I don't have that many spiritual crystals on me." Mulan said. Chapter 545. 545 Level 6 Master of Inscription. "Senior Sister Mulan, don't worry about this. I'll take care of it," Lu Ming said with a smile. He had nearly 9 million pieces of supreme spiritual crystals on him, which was enough to make a 6th level spiritual weapon. Mu Shuyuan and Mulan were both very surprised. Lu Ming could even afford a 6th level spiritual weapon? It seemed that they had underestimated Lu Ming. "That's good. There's a rank 6 inscriber in Tianxian City. He's my father's good friend, but he's not free these 2 days. How about this? I'll come find you 3 days later and take you to see that inscriber master," Mulan said. "All right, sure." Lu Ming was overjoyed. He did not expect that there would really be a level 6 inscription master in Tianxian City. A level 6 forging grandmaster was extremely rare, and their status was even higher than that of normal Sea of Soul Realm experts. In the entire Tianxian region, Sea of Soul Realm experts were extremely rare and limited. Every single one of them was a figure who could rule the Tianxian region. The 3 realms of the spiritual god were the spiritual ocean realm, the spiritual embryo realm, and the spiritual god realm. Each realm was extremely profound. At the same time, the power one could control was also extremely terrifying. It had the power to destroy heaven and earth. It was not something that the martial king realm could compare with. Above the spiritual god realm was the martial emperor realm. The peak of the spiritual god realm was also known as the Supreme. The 9 Suns Supreme was at the peak of the spiritual god realm, only 1 step away from the martial royal realm. Of course, Lu Ming was still miles away from that level. Now was not the time to think about that. Lu Ming then chatted with Mulan and Mu Shuyuan for a while. "Lu Ming, you should recuperate first." Mu Lan instructed with some concern, then left the place with Mu Shuyuan. After Mu Lan and Mu Shuyuan left, Lu Ming sat cross-legged and started to recuperate. Previously, Lu Ming had received 2 attacks from the Holy Star and was severely injured. He knew very well that he did not use much strength in the 2 moves of the Holy Star. Otherwise, Lu Ming would not have been able to withstand it. 3 hours later, Lu Ming's injuries were much better. He believed that he would be fully recovered in less than a day. Half a year. I'll need more resources if I want to catch up to the sacred constellation in half a year. The most important thing is the essence realm of heaven and earth. As long as I can improve the essence realm of heaven and earth, I can keep improving my cultivation as long as I have supreme spiritual crystals. Lu Ming pondered in his heart. Now that Lu Ming had the path-understanding ancient tree, he could comprehend the essence realm of heaven and earth very quickly. However, he was not satisfied. At this rate, he would not be able to catch up to the Holy Star in half a year. Intent crystals. If I have a large number of intent crystals and the path-understanding ancient tree, my comprehension of the intent realm of heaven and earth will be much faster. Only then will I be able to catch up to the sacred planet. Lu Ming was deep in thought. To be honest, Lu Ming was under a lot of pressure too. The main reason was that the time was too short. He only had half a year. In half a year, I must defeat the sacred constellation. If I can't defeat the sacred constellation, how can I fight against Martial Emperor D in the future? Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly, his gaze determined. Then, Lu Ming took out the path-understanding ancient tree and placed it by his side. He then took out a fire-type profound meaning crystal. He planned to improve his fire concept first. Now, Lu Ming's fire concept had reached the early stage of level 1 lower tier, which was only slightly weaker than the thunder concept. However, Lu Ming had 320 fire-type esoteric crystals. He was also the fastest one to comprehend the concept of fire. Gotcha! Lu Ming squeezed hard and crushed the fire-type esoteric crystal. Wisps of intent lingered around Lu Ming. Lu Ming closed his eyes and began to comprehend the concept of fire. Originally, the intent realm of heaven and earth in this area was stronger than in the Tao Comprehension Palace. Lu Ming's comprehension of the concept of fire had reached a terrifying speed. His comprehension of the fire concept had increased rapidly. Gotcha! Gotcha! A piece of fire-type esoteric crystal had been used up. Lu Ming crushed another one. One piece after another. A day had passed, and Lu Ming had consumed a total of 20 fire-type profound meaning crystals. Lu Ming's fire concept had broken through in one fell swoop, reaching the middle stage of level 1 lower tier, catching up to the thunder concept. Fast, it was too fast. A day's time was equivalent to a year or even longer for others. At this moment, Lu Ming's injuries had already healed. Continue. Lu Ming kept taking out fire-type ultimacy crystals and crushing them to continue his comprehension. In the blink of an eye, the 3 days he had agreed to meet with Mu Lan had already passed. In less than 3 days, Lu Ming had consumed a total of 60 pieces of fire-type esoteric crystals. Lu Ming's comprehension of the concept of fire had already reached the peak of the middle stage of level 1 lower tier. He was just a step away from the late stage of level 1 lower tier. The comprehension of concept became more and more difficult the further one went. As long as his intent realm reached the later stage of level 1 lower tier, Lu Ming's cultivation would be able to advance again and reach level 5 Martial King realm. If one's intent didn't improve, it would be difficult to improve one's cultivation. On this day, Mu Lan arrived at Lu Ming's courtyard on time. Lu Ming, let's go. I'll bring you to the Master of Inscription. Mu Lan said. All right. Lu Ming's eyes lit up and he was looking forward to it. Mu Lan led Lu Ming deeper into the city. There were very few pedestrians on the streets of the 4th area. Presumably, he was either training outside or working hard to cultivate in seclusion. Lu Ming followed Mu Lan and turned left and right before they arrived in front of a dilapidated stone house. This is the residence of that great master of inscription? Lu Ming was a little surprised. Yes, this master has a strange temper, but he is a good friend of my father. He should agree to help you, right? Mulan said. However, she didn't sound very confident. Lu Ming could not help but touch his nose. The two of them walked into the stone house. Inside was a small courtyard, but in the courtyard, there were piles of all kinds of scrap metal, like garbage. Uncle Huang, Uncle Huang. Mulan called out in a low voice. Who is it? You've come to disturb this old man's dreams again. In the courtyard, an old voice suddenly rang out. Lu Ming's heart trembled. This voice seemed to ring in Lu Ming's ears. Lu Ming hurriedly turned around but did not see anyone. Moreover, Lu Ming could not sense any aura at all. Uncle Huang, it's me, Mulan. I need your help with something today. Mulan said in a sweet voice as her beautiful eyes looked around. So it's little Lan. All right, I admit defeat. Tell me, what's the matter? The old voice sounded again. Uncle Huang, I'm looking for you today to help me forge a 6th-level spiritual weapon spear. Mulan said. A level 6 spiritual spear? The little girl really dared to ask. Was she helping the young man beside her refine it? All right, did you bring the crystals? Did you bring the materials? An old voice sounded. Senior. Lu Ming cupped his fists in the air and said, I do have spiritual crystals, but I don't have the materials to forge a 6th-level spiritual weapon. If you don't have the materials to forge a 6th-level spiritual weapon, then fine. I'll exchange them all with spiritual crystals. I'll pay for the materials for you. It'll be a total of 5 million spiritual crystals of the highest quality. An old voice sounded. 5 million supreme spiritual crystals? Mulan's eyes widened in shock. Uncle Huang, 5 million spiritual crystals of the best quality is too expensive. On the market, a 6th-level spiritual weapon is only worth a few 100,000 spiritual crystals of the best quality. Mulan said. Chapter 546. 546 Infinite Black Gold. Indeed, a 6th-level spiritual weapon was many times more expensive than a 5th-level spiritual weapon used by a king. However, it was a bit terrifying to say that it would cost 5 million supreme spiritual crystals to make one. It was simply an exorbitant price. Clang, clang, clang. At this moment, a clattering sound came from a pile of scrap metal. From the pile of scrap metal, an old man with messy hair crawled out. The old man's hair and beard were in a mess. It was unknown how long it had been since he last washed them, and they were covered in dirt. Lu Ming was stunned. The old man had been sleeping in the pile of scrap metal. Was this the level 6 master of inscription? Little girl, don't compare those scrap metals with the spiritual weapons that I've personally forged. Moreover, the 6th-level spiritual weapons that you said were worth hundreds of thousands of supreme spiritual crystals are all of the lower or middle grade. What's the use of them? The ones that I've forged are definitely at the peak of the 6th-level spiritual weapons. Do you understand? As soon as the old man appeared, he ran to Mulan and shouted, Uncle Huang, 5 million supreme spiritual crystals is too expensive. Mulan said, Not to mention them, even ordinary peak-tier kings might not be able to take out 5 million supreme-tier spirit crystals. Even powerful beings of the spiritual ocean tier would feel pain. If you don't have spiritual crystals, then forget it. I don't make a losing deal. The old man waved his hand. As long as the quality of the spirit weapon is acceptable, spirit crystals aren't a problem. At this moment, Lu Ming spoke. Ah. Mulan looked at Lu Ming in astonishment. Could it be that Lu Ming could even take out 5 million best-grade spirit crystals? The old man also looked at Lu Ming in surprise. It'll be easy if you have spirit crystals. Tell me, what do you want from the spirit weapon spear? The old man asked. Every martial artist had different requirements for their spirit weapon according to the martial skill they cultivated. Some people liked nimble things while others liked heavy things. Hardness. First of all, whether it's the spear body or the spear tip, it must be absolutely tough and able to withstand an intense explosion. Also, while the spear shaft is hard, it must also be flexible and flexible. The heavier it is, the better. Lu Ming pondered for a moment and replied, "Little fellow, you have quite a lot of requests." The old man grinned, then fell into deep thought. After a long while, the old man said, "There aren't many people who use spears. I don't have many materials suitable for making spears either. And I do have a piece of indestructible steel that is suitable for making the spear tip. But the spear body? I do have some common materials, but I don't have anything that can meet your requirements." The old man frowned and muttered, "Little guy, think about it. Since you use a spear, you should have collected some materials. Think about it. Do you have any materials suitable for making a spear? If you have them, I'll take fewer spirit crystals." The old man said, "Me?" Lu Ming was also racking his brains, but he did not have any suitable candidates. Suddenly, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He moved his hand and a broken spear appeared. This broken spear was only half of its original size. The other half of the spear's tail was missing. It was the broken spear that had spurted out of the Heaven's Gate. This broken spear did not have any spirituality at all. However, its material was indeed very hard. Lu Ming did not know what material it was made of. Perhaps it could be of use. "Senior, take a look at this broken spear." Buzz! Before Lu Ming could finish his sentence, a figure flashed. The broken spear in his hand had disappeared and appeared in the hands of the old man. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. This elder's cultivation was unfathomable. He did not even see how the elder had attacked. The old man's eyes were now fixed on the broken spear. His originally cloudy eyes were now as bright as two light bulbs, extremely hot. The old man's hands gently caressed the spear handle. As his palms streaked across, strange runes appeared on the spear handle. This is a refining technique from the ancient times. There are inscriptions from the ancient times in it. It's a priceless treasure, a priceless treasure. Haha. The old man suddenly laughed wildly. Lu Ming and Mulan looked at each other. It was just a broken spear. What value did it have? Why did the old man say it was a priceless treasure? "Little guy, where did you get this broken spear?" The old man asked. "I obtained it by chance in an ancient battlefield." Lu Ming told a lie. This broken spear has a long history. Although it has lost its spirituality and only half of it is left, it is a priceless treasure in my hands." The old man laughed. The old man explained when he saw Lu Ming and Mulan's puzzled expressions. "The inscriptions on this spear are long-lost ancient inscriptions. They will be of great use to me. After I study them, I might be able to improve my weapon refining skills. Just this point alone makes it a priceless treasure. Little guy, give this spear to this old man. This old man will use all my strength to help you refine a spear for free. How about it?" The old man looked at Lu Ming. "All right." Lu Ming agreed readily. Anyway, the long spear was of no use to him. If he gave it to the elder, he could save 5 million best-grade spirit crystals. Lu Ming was more than willing to give it away. Haha. Seeing that Lu Ming had agreed, the old man was very happy. He smiled and said, "Little guy, I won't let you suffer any losses. This half of the long spear contains a rare and strange metal called the infinite black gold. If you use this metal to forge a spirit weapon, it will give it endless potential. In the future, as long as you continue to condense and melt other metals into it, this spirit weapon will be able to continuously evolve and upgrade." What? It can continuously evolve and upgrade? Lu Ming and Mulan were dumbfounded and shocked. To think that there was such a magical metal. Lu Ming's eyes were shining and burning. That's right. In ancient times, there was a lot of infinite black gold, but now the amount is getting smaller and smaller. It's a great fortune for you to be able to obtain some. After this old man studies the inscriptions on it, I'll melt this infinite black gold into your spirit weapon spear." The old man said, "Many thanks, Senior. Lu Ming bowed and cupped his fists. No need for thanks. I should be the one thanking you. However, with such good materials, the other materials can't be bad, or it would be a waste. Now, the key is the material for the spear body. The old man frowned. After a while, the old man's eyes brightened. I've got it. 1,000 refined blood gold is the most suitable for the spear handle. 1,000 refined blood gold. Lu Ming was puzzled. That's right. The 1,000 refined blood gold is made from an extremely precious metal that has been refined thousands of times. Each time, it needs to be mixed with the blood essence of a demon beast. Only after 1,000 times can it be forged. However, I don't have the 1,000 refined blood gold with me, so I'll need you to make a trip here. The old man said, I wonder where I can obtain this 1,000 refined blood gold. Lu Ming asked. Chapter 547. 547 The Secret in the Heavenly Star Sword. In the Tianxian region, only the weapon forging sect in the north has it. It just so happens that I've done the sect master a favor. You just have to go to the weapon forging sect and tell him that I asked you to go. The sect master will definitely give you a piece of 1,000 refined blood gold. The old man explained. Oh, you're in the weapon forging sect? Mulan nodded. All right, I'll make a trip there. Lu Ming nodded. Little guy, take this small tower. It's this old man's token. This old man's name is Yellow Tower. You can just call me Old Huang in the future. The old man took out a small tower the size of a fist and threw it to Lu Ming. Yes, Elder Huang. After Lu Ming kept it, his eyes flickered and he said, Elder Huang, there's one more thing I need your help with. What is it? Speak, as long as this old man can do it, I will definitely help. Elder Huang laughed. He was in a good mood after getting the broken spear. In his eyes, Lu Ming was extremely cute. A long sword appeared in Lu Ming's hand. This long sword was very ordinary. It was only a second-level spirit weapon. It was the Sky Star Sword that his father had left him. Lu Yuntian had said that the Heavenly Star Sword contained the secret of the Martial Emperor's treasure. However, there were inscriptions on the Heavenly Star Sword. If the Heavenly Star Sword was broken by force, the secret within would also disappear. He needed to unlock the inscription before he could open the Star Sword. In the past, Lu Ming had never looked for an inscription master to open the Heavenly Star Sword, mainly because he felt that his cultivation level was too weak. The Martial Emperor's treasure was a treasure left behind by a Martial Emperor. Without his cultivation level, even if the Martial Emperor's treasure was placed in front of him, he would not be able to obtain it. With his previous cultivation, if he really entered the Martial Emperor's treasure, he would probably be killed by any danger. Lu Ming's mind was very clear. He would not be so hot-headed as to search for the Martial Emperor's treasure the moment he heard about it. But now, he had an idea. Even if he didn't go now, he would first take a look at the secret of the Martial Emperor's treasure and its rough location so that he could be prepared. Elder Huang, there is something hidden in this sword, but the sword is protected by inscriptions. I would like to ask Elder Huang to remove the inscriptions on the sword. Lu Ming said. Oh, that's easy. Elder Huang took the Heavenly Star Sword and looked at it. This is just a low-level inscription, easy. Then, Elder Huang's palms glowed, and inscriptions glowed on his palms. He brushed them across the Heavenly Star Sword, and the inscriptions on the sword appeared and then collapsed. All right, the inscription has been broken, take it. Elder Huang returned the Heavenly Star Sword to Lu Ming. As for what was hidden in the Heavenly Star Sword, Old Huang had no interest in knowing at all. Lu Ming took the Star Sword and was secretly amazed. The means of a level 6 alchemist were truly mysterious and unpredictable. Elder Huang, I would like to buy a level 5 spear. Do you have it? Currently, Lu Ming did not have any spears that were of great use. Before the level 6 spear was refined, he could only purchase a level 5 spear. I do have a few level 5 ones. A dark purple spear appeared in Elder Huang's hand. This wind lightning spear is the highest grade among the 5th level spiritual weapons. Take it, it's my gift to you. Elder Huang threw the long spear to Lu Ming. Wind lightning spear. Lu Ming took it and shook it slightly. Buzz! The spear trembled, causing the space to tremble slightly. Not bad. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. This wind lightning spear was much better than the demon subduing spear. It was enough for the time being. Lu Ming kept it and expressed his gratitude to Elder Huang. Go and get the 1,000 refined blood gold as soon as possible. I'll help you forge a spear as soon as possible. Old Huang waved his hand as he stared at the broken spear. Lu Ming and Mulan left Elder Huang's stone house. Lu Ming, the weapon forging sect, is extremely far away from Tianxian City. It's in the north of Tianxian region. I heard that the battle between the Empyrean Heavenly Divine Palace and the Heavenly Corpse sect is the most intense there. You must be careful when you go. Mulan warned, feeling a little worried. Don't worry, senior sister Mulan. I'm only going to get the 1,000 refined blood gold. I won't be joining the battle. Don't worry. Lu Ming smiled. Oh, when do you plan to leave? Mulan asked. Half a month later. Lu Ming said. Since Elder Huang wanted to study the inscriptions on the broken spear, he would not be able to extract the infinite black gold so quickly to help him refine the spear. Lu Ming had the wind lightning spear now and was not in a hurry. Lu Ming planned to cultivate in Tianxian City for a period of time and refine all the remaining fire-type ultimacy crystals before he set off for the weapon forging sect. Well, that's good. Mulan nodded. The two of them chatted as they walked. After a while, Mulan and Lu Ming bade farewell and went back first. Lu Ming returned to the courtyard alone. The first thing he did when he returned was to take out the star sword. Powerful essential core surged into the surface of the star sword. Lu Ming could sense that the center of the star sword was hollow and not solid. Buzz! His true essence shook violently. Now that Lu Ming's essential core was so powerful, the star sword could not withstand it at all. It cracked and shattered into pieces with a bang. Something was exposed from the star sword. This is... Lu Ming's pupils shrank when he saw the item inside the star sword. He was shocked. The thing inside the heavenly star sword was actually a jade sword. It was very small, about the length of a finger, and crystal clear. Most importantly, Lu Ming had seen such a jade sword before. Back in the Blazing Sun Empire, in the ruins of the Dongyi tribe, Xian Yanqing had once obtained a jade sword that was exactly the same as the one in front of her. At that time, Lu Ming had offered to exchange it with her with a king's storage ring, but Xian Yanqing had disagreed. The jade sword that Xian Yanqing obtained was exactly the same as the one in front of him. What was the relationship between the two jade swords? Could it be that Xian Yanqing's sword was also related to the martial emperor's treasure? Lu Ming frowned and kept thinking in his mind. How do I use this jade sword? Lu Ming held it in his hand and played with it for a while. Then, he carefully injected his essential core into the jade sword. Buzz! The jade sword trembled slightly. Then, inscriptions appeared on the surface of the sword. The inscriptions glowed and a painting appeared in the air. To be more precise, it was a map with many routes marked on it. On the side of the map, there was a line of words. Lu Ming took a look and came to a realization. It was indeed a map, and the jade sword was the key to the martial emperor's treasure. The key was that there were 9 keys to the martial emperor's treasure. The martial emperor's treasure could only be opened after all 9 swords were collected. 9. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. It seems that Xian Yanqing's key is most likely the key to the martial emperor's treasure. But where are the other keys? Had it already fallen into someone else's hands? How can we gather? Lu Ming kept thinking. If he wanted to go to the martial emperor's treasure, he didn't know how long he would have to wait. Forget it. With my current cultivation, it'll be dangerous for me to enter the martial emperor's treasure. I'd better wait and see. Right now, cultivation is the most important thing. At the thought of this, Lu Ming carefully put away the jade sword and adjusted his state of mind. Then, he began to cultivate diligently. and NBSP, he continued to use fire intent crystals to comprehend fire intent. Lu Ming's concept of fire had advanced by leaps and bounds. Chapter 548. 548. A new drawback. Half a month later, the remaining fire-type esoteric crystals had all been refined by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's concept of fire had reached the peak of level 1 lower tier in one go. The next step would be level 1 upper tier. The fire concept is at the peak of lower level 1 cultivation realm. Does that mean I can raise my cultivation to the peak of level 6 martial king realm now? Lu Ming's eyes sparkled and he was full of anticipation. If his cultivation had reached the peak of the 6th level of the martial king realm, Lu Ming was absolutely confident that he could fight against a king of the upper tier. Even a king of the upper tier of the 7th level of the martial king realm would not be his match. At the thought of this, Lu Ming immediately took out a large number of top-grade spirit crystals. He planned to increase his cultivation level first before going to the weapon forging sect. Bang, bang, bang. A total of 50,000 pieces of top-grade spirit crystals exploded. The 9-dragon bloodline roared and devoured all the energy of the 50,000 pieces of top-grade spirit crystals. Then he began to refine it crazily. However, an hour later, Lu Ming opened his eyes and stopped cultivating. His eyes were full of doubts. What's going on? Why is it that 90% of the energy in the spirit crystal has dissipated and can't be absorbed? Why is it that the improvement of cultivation level is extremely slow? Lu Ming furrowed his eyebrows tightly. When he was cultivating just now, he realized that most of the energy converted from the spiritual crystals could not be absorbed and converted into vital essence. Instead, it overflowed from his body and dissipated. Most of the 50,000 spiritual crystals had been wasted. Lu Ming had never encountered such a situation before. Mentality, win mentality. When I was training just now, the fire and thunder mentality were too strong, while the wind mentality was too weak. It formed a huge gap which led to the loss of energy. Lu Ming kept thinking in his mind and finally came to this conclusion. But in the past, my thunder concept was the only outstanding one. The other two concepts didn't condense any concept runes, and I didn't have this situation? What's going on? Could it be that the other two intents didn't form intent runes at that time, so there was no problem? But once they both formed intent runes, this situation occurred? Yes, that must be it. At the thought of this, Lu Ming shook his head and smiled bitterly. The disadvantages of cultivating many different intents were finally starting to show. When all of the intents condensed into intent runes, all of the intents had to be maintained at a rough balance in order to increase cultivation. If multiple intents lost their balance, it would be very difficult to increase cultivation. Right now, the fire concept was much stronger than the wind concept. It had exceeded a certain level. It was no wonder that others said that cultivating several concepts at the same time would become more difficult in the later stages. This didn't just mean that there would be a huge resistance when forming intent runes. That was only one of the reasons. And when many wills were condensed into will runes, an even greater disadvantage appeared. He had to cultivate many different intents at the same time to maintain balance in order to raise his cultivation. If you give up on other domains and only cultivate one domain after you form all the domain runes, then no matter how high your domain is, it will be very difficult for your cultivation level to increase. If someone wanted to improve one intent first, then improve their cultivation, and then go back to improve the other intent, it would not work. This was equivalent to stepping on a road of no return. Once you set foot on it, you would have to walk to the end. However, a person's energy was extremely limited, and so was his lifespan. He had to maintain multiple intents at the same time in order to raise his cultivation. This speed was too slow. In history, there were people who cultivated many intents at the same time, but in the end, because they had to comprehend every intent, their cultivation speed was extremely slow. In the end, their lifespans ran out and they died. Some people were also peerless geniuses. If they cultivated only one intent realm, their achievements would be limitless. However, in the end, they were too ambitious and died on this path. There were too few people who could walk this path, and they were all rare geniuses. Nest, if I had known, I wouldn't have cultivated the concept of fire to such a high level. Lu Ming was somewhat speechless. However, Lu Ming was not too worried. He had the path understanding ancient tree. Even if he cultivated 3 concepts at the same time, he would be faster than others. Moreover, as long as the path understanding ancient tree grew, the speed of his comprehension of the essence realm of heaven and earth would be even faster. Forget it. Next, I'll focus on comprehending the wind mentality. I wanted to put the wind mentality aside, but it seems that I can't. I'd better head to the weapon forging sect first. I'll cultivate as I travel. Lu Ming muttered. Lu Ming got up and left the courtyard. Not long after, Lu Ming left Tianxian City, rose into the air, and flew north. The weapon forging sect was located in the north of the Tianxian region, at the intersection of the central and northern parts of the Tianxian region. It was extremely far from Tianxian City. Now, the northern part of the palace had long been occupied by the Heavenly Corpse sect, and the vast territory was completely under the control of the Heavenly Corpse sect. Right now, the region where the weapon forging sect was located was at the forefront of the battle between the Empyrean Divine Palace and the Heavenly Corpse sect. It was extremely chaotic there. Lu Ming was not in a hurry. Not long after he left Tianxian City, he rushed into a huge mountain and captured a storm eagle at the half-step king realm. He sat cross-legged on the storm eagle and headed towards the weapon forging sect. The speed of the gale eagle was extremely fast. A gale eagle of the half-step king realm was not any slower than some of the martial kings. It also had excellent endurance. Lu Ming could use it to travel while cultivating and comprehending the intent of wind at the same time. Lu Ming took out the path understanding ancient tree and placed it by his side. He then took out a wind ultimacy crystal. He had a total of 40 wind intent crystals on him, all of which he had won from the bet with the Xing clan. He crushed the esoteric crystal and started to comprehend the concept of wind. Just like that, Lu Ming hurried on his journey and cultivated at the same time. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, a month had passed. In a month's time, he'd refined all 40 wind attribute intent crystals, and his wind intent had also made a breakthrough. He was only one step away from the initial stage of level 1. At this moment, Lu Ming had also arrived at the territory near the weapon forging sect. This territory was in the middle of the war between the Empyrean Divine Palace and the Heavenly Corpse sect. The weapon forging sect was also a subsidiary force of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. Naturally, they would stand on the side of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace and oppose the Heavenly Corpse sect. Go! Lu Ming patted the gale eagle that he had been riding for a month. Then he moved and flew forward alone. At this point, the gale eagle was no longer of any use. Who? Lu Ming had not flown for long when he heard the sound of something breaking through the air. 2 huge coffins stopped in front of him. They were from the Heavenly Corpse sect. Hee, I'm in luck today. I just came out for a walk and met a little brat. He seems to have a good cultivation level. I can take him back and use him as a new corpse refining target. A dry laugh came from the coffin. This one should be mine today. The next one should be yours. An unpleasant voice came from the other coffin. All right, I'll let you have it. Let's finish this quickly and get rid of this little brat. Then, we'll go elsewhere to see if there's any prey. The voice from the coffin came out again. The prey you're talking about, is it me? Lu Ming had a faint smile on his face. Nonsense. Who else could it be if not you? Little brat, don't even think about escaping. You can't escape from the 2 of us. The shriveled voice from before sounded again. Chapter 549. 549 Making a Move. Is that so? Lu Ming sneered coldly. Then, he condensed a long spear with his vital essence. The long spear expanded rapidly and became 1,000 meters long. He whipped it at the two coffins. Its power was extremely shocking. Not good. This is a lower-tier king tier. How is that possible? Two panicked screams came from the coffin. At the same time, the coffin flew backward, trying to escape. But how could he escape? Boom! The huge spear radiance hit the two coffins directly. The coffins exploded and 6 figures emerged from them. 2 old corpse guards and 4 refined corpses. The 2 corpse guards and the 4 refined corpses were both at the level 3 Martial King realm. However, they could not even withstand a single blow from Lu Ming's spear. And NBSP, the spear light enveloped them and suppressed them. The 2 corpse guards cried out in pain as they were torn to pieces along with the 4 refined corpses. With a roll of his Jin Yuan, he kept the 2 storage rings. Lu Ming did not stop and continued to move forward. After about a few hundred miles, a series of rumbling sounds came from ahead. Someone was fighting. Lu Ming furrowed his brows and muttered to himself for a moment. Then he walked in the direction of the sound. 10 miles away, 2 parties were fighting. On one side, it was obvious that they were from the Heavenly Corpse sect. On the other side, there were 6 people. It was a young woman in her 20s. She was as beautiful as a flower and delicate and pleasant. There were 2 young men and 3 middle-aged men. But now, the 6 of them were completely at a disadvantage and were surrounded by the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect. The Heavenly Corpse sect had a total of 8 corpse guards, but they had 17 refined corpses, whose strength was far above those 6 people. Lu Ming quietly appeared not far away. He hid in a remote place and looked ahead. The strongest corpse guards are 2 in the middle stage of the level 4 Martial King realm. Lu Ming could tell the cultivation of everyone at a glance. On the side of the Heavenly Corpse sect, there were 2 king tiers of lower tier level 4 Martial King realm who were controlling 4 refined corpses. The other corpse guards were at the 3rd and 2nd level of the Martial King realm. Among the 6 men, only 1 middle-aged man was at the peak of level 4 Martial King realm, while the other 2 were only at level 3 Martial King realm. As for the 2 young men and the young woman, they were both at level 2 Martial King realm. They had relied entirely on the middle-aged man at the peak of level 4 Martial King realm to barely resist the attacks from all sides. However, he would not be able to hold on for long. "Kaka, that girl is not bad. She's pink and tender. I'll catch her and play with her. Then, I'll refine her into a refined corpse and bring her with me every day. It's also a great pleasure in life. Kaka." An old corpse guard with dry skin let out an ear-piercing laugh. He was one of the 2 corpse guards at the middle level 4 Martial King realm. "Old ghost, don't even think about it. I'd rather die than submit." The young woman called out with a pale face. "You'd rather die than submit? When you die, I'll refine you into a refined corpse, hee hee." The old corpse guard laughed strangely. The young woman's face turned even paler. She gritted her teeth and runes appeared on her jade-like palms. With a wave of her hand, 3 combat swords danced around her and then slashed at the old corpse guard. However, it was easily blocked by a refined corpse. What an amazing attack! Lu Ming's eyes were filled with curiosity. He realized that the 6 of them had a very special way of attacking. Just like that woman, inscriptions flickered on her palms, and she actually controlled several spirit weapons at the same time to attack her opponent. Furthermore, the power that each spirit weapon unleashed was extremely powerful. The martial artists that Lu Ming had seen in the past would usually use a spirit weapon in order to unleash the strongest power of some martial arts techniques. For example, Lu Ming could unleash the strongest power of the spear technique when he used a long spear. On the other hand, he could unleash the strongest power of the sword technique when he used a combat sword. This was the first time Lu Ming had seen someone controlling several spirit weapons to attack at the same time. However, even though the 6 of them had profound methods of controlling spirit weapons, the disparity in strength was too great, and they were not their match at all. Not long after, The two Level 3 Martial King realm middle-aged men were injured and spat out large mouthfuls of blood. Big brother, take the young lady and break out of the encirclement. We'll block them from here. One of the burly men shouted at the peak Level 4 Martial King realm. That's right, nothing must happen to the young lady. The other man also shouted. No, we'll leave together. The young woman shouted. Kaka, you want to leave? Today, none of you will be leaving. The old corpse guard sneered. Big brother, hurry up. Take the young lady and rush out to get help. One of the burly men continued to roar. All right. The Level 4 Martial King realm burly man gritted his teeth and rushed madly in one direction, shouting, Miss, follow me and rush out. You want to rush out? In your dreams. Deal with that guy with all your strength. The old corpse guard sneered and controlled the refined corpse to pounce at the big man fearlessly. At the same time, the other Level 4 Martial King realm corpse guard also controlled the refined corpse to pounce on the burly man. The burly man controlled 4 blades at the same time and slashed wildly, but it was useless. They were blocked. Damn it. He roared in despair. Kaka, don't even think about running away. Little beauty, be good and serve this old man. If you serve this old man well, this old man might show mercy and not refine you into a refined corpse. The old corpse guard sneered. Old man, go to hell. The young woman was in despair. She gritted her teeth and attacked the old corpse guard, but she was easily blocked by a Level 3 Martial King refined corpse. The heavenly corpse sex corpse guards didn't seem to be in a hurry to kill them, and were toying with the young woman and the others like a cat playing with a mouse. Oh, I see. Lu Ming looked to the east and west, a cold smile on his face. He discovered that there were auras hidden in the east and west. Although the auras were restrained to a very weak extent, Lu Ming could still sense them. And that aura was the aura of the Sky Corpse sex corpse guards. They are trying to attract the young woman's reinforcements and then capture them all in one fell swoop. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. However, the highest level among them is only at Level 5 Martial King realm. A cold smile appeared on Lu Ming's face. He stopped hiding and strode out. Who is it? As soon as Lu Ming walked out, the heavenly corpse sex corpse guard noticed him and shouted. Of course it's the people who are here to kill you. Lu Ming sneered. Kaka, little brat, just you alone? You're looking for death. The old corpse guard laughed strangely. At this time, the young woman and the rest looked at Lu Ming. When they saw that Lu Ming was alone and that he was so young, they were immediately disappointed. Young hero, leave quickly, don't worry about us. The young woman cried out. Lu Ming was alone. If he did not leave now, he would also be killed. Beauty, it's fine. I'll leave after I kill these monsters of the Heavenly Corpse sect. Lu Ming flashed a bright smile at the young woman. The young woman and the others were a little stunned. Chapter 550. 550 Kill all of them. Little brat, you're quite arrogant. Kill him. The old corpse guard waved his hand. Immediately, a Level 3 Martial King realm corpse guard controlled a Level 3 Martial King realm refined corpse and charged toward Lu Ming. Bang! Lu Ming lifted his leg and kicked the corpse guard, sending it flying at least 1,000 meters away. It crashed into a cliff and almost shattered it. The corpse guard lay there, motionless. Everyone was dumbfounded. A Level 3 Martial King realm refined corpse had been crippled by Lu Ming's kick. Was it still a refined corpse with copper skin and iron bones? When did he become so weak? Level 4 Martial King realm. You're at Level 4 Martial King realm. That old corpse guard called out. They were shocked to see that he had reached Level 4 Martial King realm at such a young age. The eyes of the young woman and the others also lit up. With the addition of a Level 4 Martial King realm lower tier, they might have a chance to escape. Little brother, come and help me. Let's rush out together. The peak Level 4 Martial King realm man shouted. However, Lu Ming did not seem to hear it. He smiled faintly and said, Why are you rushing out? It'll be fine after we kill them. With that, Lu Ming walked towards the old corpse guard step by step. Little brat, so what if you're a level 4 martial king? You want to kill me? In your dreams? The old corpse guard roared and immediately controlled a level 4 martial king realm corpse guard to kill Lu Ming. 5 to 6 pitch-black iron chains shot towards Lu Ming. A faint smile hung on Lu Ming's lips. He stretched out his hand and grabbed all 5 to 6 iron chains. Then he activated the thunder concept and his arm shook. The power of the thunderbolt followed the iron chain and headed toward the level 4 martial king realm refined corpse. Bang! The refined corpse was turned into charcoal by the power of lightning. Phew! This time, the old corpse guard's expression changed. His originally shriveled and pale face turned ashen, and his eyes flashed with horror. How was it possible for him to defeat a level 4 martial king realm refined corpse so easily? This young man's combat strength was too strong. The eyes of the young woman and the others lit up. Perhaps they would be saved today. You're the Ditian Divine Guard. You're the genius of the Ditian Divine Guard. The old corpse guard shouted. To have such cultivation and battle prowess at such a young age, he could only be a top genius among the Ditian Divine Guards. You're right. Lu Ming smiled faintly. He. It's worth it to be able to kill a genius of the Ditian Divine Guard today. Do it. The old corpse guard sneered and suddenly roared. His voice spread far and wide. Who? In the next moment, from the east and west, there was a loud sound as coffins flew over. There were more than 20 coffins on each side, and there were more than 50 coffins in total. Ambush, there's an ambush. At this moment, the young woman's group of 6 faces were as pale as paper and filled with despair. Young hero, leave quickly, don't worry about us. The young woman shouted. Lu Ming smiled faintly. This young woman was kind. However, this was within Lu Ming's expectations. More than 50 corpse guards. And it's a good thing I still have quite a few soul-sealing crystals on me. After I seal the soul and bring it back, those will all be rewards. Lu Ming thought to himself. Sealing the souls of the heavenly corpse sex corpse guards and obtaining rewards wasn't limited to the scaled demon plane. It was the same in other places. As long as one killed a corpse guard, sealed its soul, and took it back, there would be a reward. Young hero, let's go. Seeing that Lu Ming was standing still, the young woman became anxious. It's too late to leave now. The old corpse guard sneered. And NBSP, hoo. The coffins from 2 different directions flew over everyone's heads. They formed a dark mass and blocked the sunlight from the sky. Bang! At this moment, Lu Ming stomped on the ground and his figure soared into the sky. He's trying to escape, stop him. The old corpse guard shouted. A few iron chains flew out from one of the coffins and wrapped around Lu Ming. He waved his hand and sent them flying. Lu Ming then rushed into the sky. Escape? Who's escaping? Lu Ming's calm voice was heard. The next moment, Lu Ming looked down from above and took a step forward. After taking 1 step, he took another step. Boom, boom, boom. Lu Ming took 3 consecutive steps. 9 Dragon's Heaven trampling steps, 3 steps in a row. Boom. The entire world seemed to be about to explode as a terrifying power surged towards the coffins. Bang, bang, bang. More than 50 coffins exploded as if they were made of paper. One figure after another emerged from the coffins. Some corpse guards with weaker cultivation had their bodies directly explode and died on the spot. Some of the corpse guards with stronger cultivation also vomited large mouthfuls of blood. 10,000 dragon kill. Lu Ming's long spear shook as the 3 concepts converged. At least a few hundred spear gleams shot out and turned into a few hundred 3-colored true dragons that pounced at the corpse guards. Screams rang out continuously, regardless of whether they were at the 2nd, 3rd, or even 4th or 5th level Martial King realm. The 3-colored true dragon tore his body apart, and his body fell to the ground like rain. For a moment, only some of the stronger refined corpses stood in the sky, unmoving like wood. More than 50 corpse guards were all killed in an instant. Below, everyone was stunned. They stopped fighting and stared at the sky with all their might. They were completely petrified. Heavens, more than 50 corpse guards, including more than a dozen Level 4 and Level 5 Martial King corpse guards, were all killed in an instant. Not a single one escaped. What kind of combat strength was this? Could it be a late-stage king tier? But, such a young late-stage king tier? How many were there in the Tianxian region? Everyone felt that their minds were a little confused. Monster, monster, run, run. After a while, the old corpse guard reacted and screamed in fear, frantically escaping to the side. Badash! Whoosh! A ray of spear light descended from the sky and nailed him to the ground. Whoosh! Whoosh! Immediately after, spears descended and nailed the other corpse guards to the ground, leaving no one alive. Then, Lu Ming waved his hand and more than 50 soul-sealing crystals flew out, sealing the souls of all the corpse guards and putting them away. There are only these soul-sealing crystals left. If we kill more corpse guards, we won't have any more soul-sealing crystals. Lu Ming sighed. If he had known earlier, he would have bought more soul-sealing crystals and brought them with him. After keeping it, Lu Ming moved and appeared beside the young woman and the rest. Greetings, Lord Divine Guard. Other than the lady, the rest of them quickly saluted Lu Ming. Such a young and powerful Ditian Divine Guard must have an extraordinary status in the Ditian Divine Palace. Thus, they were naturally very respectful. There's no need to be so polite, everyone. I just happened to pass by. The Heavenly Corpse sect and the Ditian Divine Guards are mortal enemies. Since I've seen them, I naturally won't let them off. Lu Ming said with a smile. Lord Divine Guard, you're so powerful. Your name is Xian Xiang. I wonder what's the name of Lord Divine Guard? The young woman's eyes lit up as she looked at Lu Ming. It was the first time she had seen such a young and powerful genius. I'm Lu Ming. Lu Ming said with a smile. Chapter 551. 551 Weapon Forging Sect, Profound Fragrance. Lord Lu Ming, you're really amazing. The geniuses of our weapon forging sect are so much weaker than you. Xian Xiang's eyes were burning as she looked at Lu Ming. Cough, cough. Lu Ming was a little embarrassed from being stared at. He coughed a few times and then came to his senses. You're from the weapon forging sect? That's right. My father is the sect master of the weapon forging sect. Xian Xiang did not have any ulterior motives and said it directly. She stared at Lu Ming with a very curious gaze. Ahem, miss, please pay attention to your manners. The burly man on the side reminded. Notice what? Lord Lu Ming is one of us. Xian Xiang laughed. Lu Ming also smiled. This Xian Xiang was obviously a young lady without any experience and no scheming. Miss Xuanxiang, everyone, I'm not happy with what you're saying. I'm also heading to the weapon forging sect to look for your sect master. Lu Ming said. You're going to the weapon forging sect to look for my father? That's just right, let's go together. Xian Xiang's eyes brightened as she said with great joy. All right. Lu Ming nodded. The others were overjoyed as well. With such a powerful existence like Lu Ming with them, they would not have to fear the people from the Heavenly Corpse sect. After that, the group of people set off together and headed north. Lord Lu Ming, you're really amazing. You're so young and you're already so powerful. How did you cultivate? Lord Lu Ming, you're so powerful. What's your ranking among the Ditian Divine Guards? How many more formidable geniuses like you are in the Ditian Divine Guard? Lu Ming, do you have a girlfriend? How about I introduce you to someone? I'll just introduce myself. Hee, I'm just joking. Lord Lu Ming, I've heard that Saint Xingqian is the #1 genius in the Tianxian region and a proud son of heaven on the list of top 1,000 talents. How does Lord Lu Ming compare to Saint Xingqian? Has Lord Lu Ming seen him before? Along the way, Xianxiang followed Lu Ming and asked him questions nonstop. Lu Ming could not help but smile bitterly. He cast a pleading look at the others at the side. However, they all showed an expression of helplessly wanting to help, turning their heads and pretending not to see. Lu Ming felt a huge headache. After flying for a few hundred miles, Xianxiang had asked at least a few dozen questions. At this moment, Lu Ming's reinforcements arrived. Buzz. And NBSP, whoosh. In front of them, there were more than 50 people flying towards them at an extremely fast speed. Each of them had a strong qi, and they were obviously experts. The leader of the group was a young man in a white robe. It's Xian Zhong. A burly man on the side said. Soon, more than 50 people arrived. Xiang, are you all right? As soon as the young man in the lead arrived, he looked at Xiang with concern and asked. It'd be a wonder if we're fine. If we were relying on you guys, we would have been dead long ago. You're so late. Xiang's lips curled up and she snorted. You guys ran into the people from the Heavenly Corpse sect? Xianzhong's expression changed. Nonsense. Of course we met. If it wasn't for Lord Lu Ming, you wouldn't have been able to see me. Let me introduce you. This is Lord Lu Ming, the Detian Divine Guard. Lord Lu Ming is a peerless genius. Those corpse guards were killed by Lord Lu Ming in a few moves. This is the first time I've seen such a powerful genius. Xianxiang stood beside Lu Ming and introduced him to everyone with a look of admiration. However, he didn't see the cold glint in Xianzhong's eyes. Detian Divine Guards? Don't be deceived by him. Perhaps he's the Heavenly Corpse sect's member who's intentionally trying to get close to you. You also know that the Heavenly Corpse sect's members have been appearing more and more frequently around the weapon forging sect recently. Xianzhong cast an unfriendly glance at Lu Ming and said coldly, You're talking nonsense. Lord Lu Ming is so powerful, so he must be a genius among the Detian Divine Guards. Moreover, he killed so many corpse guards in a few moves. If he's from the Heavenly Corpse sect, why would he kill so many corpse guards? Moreover, those disgusting guys from the Heavenly Corpse sect are all so ugly. How can they be as good-looking as Lord Lu Ming? Xianxiang retorted loudly. At the side, Lu Ming smiled bitterly. Profound Fragrance was really innocent and simple-minded. It was obvious that Xianzhong was interested in Xianxiang. However, Xianxiang still praised Lu Ming. This made Xianzhong even more unhappy. As expected, Xianzhong's face turned even gloomier. A trace of killing intent flashed across his eyes as he looked at Lu Ming and said, Lu Ming, right? Now that I've arrived, we'll be returning to the weapon forging sect. Please leave. In other words, he wanted Lu Ming to leave. Hey, Xianzhong, how can you be like this? Lord Lu Ming saved my life before. Moreover, he has something to do at the weapon forging sect to see my father. He'll be coming back with us. Xianxiang's small face immediately sank, and she said somewhat unhappily. He's also going to the weapon forging sect? No, what if this person has any evil intentions? Xianzhong said with a gloomy expression. This is my Divine Guard token. Do you want to take a look? Before Xianzhong could finish his sentence, Lu Ming interrupted him and took out the Divine Guard token. Lu Ming had gone to the weapon forging sect to ask for the 1,000 refined blood gold. He could not be bothered to waste his breath on Xianzhong. Seeing Lu Ming take out the Divine Guard token, Xianzhong's face turned even gloomier. The weapon forging sect was a subsidiary sect of the Emperor Sky Divine Palace. Since Lu Ming was really an Emperor Sky Divine Guard, Xianzhong had no reason not to let Lu Ming join the weapon forging sect. I told you that Lord Lu Ming is a genius among the Detian Divine Guards, but someone didn't believe me. Xianxiang coldly snorted. This made Xianzhong's face even uglier. Go. Let's go back to the weapon forging sect. Xianzhong waved his hand and left with his men. The group continued to head north. On the way, Xianxiang followed Lu Ming and chatted with him. From Xianxiang, Lu Ming learned that Xianzhong was the only son of the weapon-forging sect's great elder. He was also the #1 genius among the younger generation of the weapon-forging sect. At the age of 28, he had already reached the lower tier of the Level 4 Martial King realm. Lu Ming nodded. Even in the Emperor's Sky Divine Palace, where geniuses were as common as clouds, such talent would be considered superior. Lu Ming could also tell that Xian Xiang had some feelings for Xianzhong. Of course, Lu Ming did not think that Xian Xiang liked him. Xian Xiang was just a simple-minded girl who idolized the strong. It was her first time seeing a genius like Lu Ming. Naturally, she idolized him and was very curious. However, this was not love. At the front, Xianzhong's face turned even gloomier when he saw Xian Xiang and Lu Ming chatting so happily. Killing intent kept flashing in his eyes. They chatted as they traveled. Not long after, they had flown 10,000 miles. In front of him, a huge and majestic mountain appeared. This was the weapon-forging sect. Following profound fragrance, they entered the weapon-forging sect and arrived at the peak of the mountain. Miss Xian Xiang, young Master Xianzhong, you're back. The sect master and the elders just happened to be discussing matters in the meeting hall. I'll go and inform them. A white-haired old man appeared in front of them and said, "And all right, Grandpa Zhang, please tell my father that this Ditian Divine Guard, Lu Ming, of the Ditian Divine Palace, has something to see him about." Xian Xiang nodded. "Oh, okay." The white-haired old man nodded and went to the meeting hall. Chapter 552. 552 The conflict caused by the 1,000 refined blood gold. Not long after, the white-haired old man returned. "Miss Xuanxiang, the sect master wants you to go in," the old man said. Immediately, Lu Ming, Xian Xiang, and Xianzhong followed the old man into the room. As for the others, they all dispersed. Following the old man, they passed through a few checkpoints and arrived at a large hall. 8 people were sitting in the hall. Sitting at the top was a middle-aged man with a square face and an extremely burly figure. "Father!" The moment Xian Xiang entered, she called out with a smile. This burly man was the sect master of the weapon-forging sect, Xian Long. "I heard that you were ambushed by the corpse guards of the Sky Corps sect. Are you all right? You little girl, I told you not to run around, but you didn't listen." Xian Long got up from his seat and walked down. He carefully sized up Xian Xiang and scolded with a smile. Obviously, Xian Long had already received the news that Xian Xiang and the others had encountered the corpse guards. "Father, your daughter's luck is as good as the heavens, and I will naturally have the help of a noble. Come, let me introduce you. This is Lu Ming, a peerless genius among the Ditian Divine Guards. Those corpse guards are completely powerless against Lord Lu Ming. Any lower-tier king tier is completely useless." Xian Xiang pulled Xian Long's arm and said with a smile. Then she looked at Lu Ming and introduced him. Xian Long and the rest laughed. They were not too concerned about how powerful Lu Ming was. Lu Ming looked to be around 20 years old. Even if he was a genius among the Ditian Divine Guards, how strong could his cultivation and combat strength be? It was already amazing to be able to reach Level 4 Martial King realm. To them, profound fragrance was simple and didn't go out often. They were just a little excited to suddenly see a pretty good genius. However, Lu Ming was the Ditian Divine Guard after all. Some rules could not be ignored. "Lu Ming, thank you for saving me this time." Xian Long cupped his fists. "You're too kind, Grandmaster Xian. It's just a small matter." Lu Ming replied with a bow. "I heard that little brother is looking for me. I wonder what is it?" Xian Long said. "Grandmaster Xian, it's like this, Elder Huang asked me to come." Lu Ming did not beat around the bush. He took out the small pagoda that Elder Huang had given him. "Elder Huang." This time, not only Xian Long, but the other people in the hall also had a slight change in their expressions. "It's really old Huang." Xian Long sized up the pagoda, his face filled with respect. He could not help but think more highly of Lu Ming. From what he knew, the small tower was Elder Huang's token and he would not give it to others easily. However, he had given it to Lu Ming. Lu Ming's status in Elder Huang's heart was not low. Back then, Elder Huang had done me a great favor, and even the weapon forging sect a great favor. It's a pity that it's been more than 20 years and Elder Huang has never visited the weapon forging sect. May I know why you've called little brother over this time? Xianlong's tone was much more polite as he asked. It's nothing big. Elder Huang wants to refine a spirit weapon and is lacking in materials. He asked me to come here to see if I can ask for a piece of 1,000 refined blood gold from the sect master. Lu Ming said. 1,000 refined blood gold. Xianlong and the others' faces changed again. 1,000 refined blood gold. You want the 1,000 refined blood gold? Impossible, I can't give you the 1,000 refined blood gold. A voice was heard. It was Xian Zhong. At this moment, Xian Zhong's expression was unusually ugly. He looked at Lu Ming in an unfriendly manner and said, Kid, do you know how precious the 1,000 refined blood gold is? We don't even have enough for our own people. The entire weapon forging sect takes a few years to forge a single piece of 1,000 refined blood gold. Who do you think you are to ask for 1,000 refined blood gold the moment you arrive? No way. Xian Zhong, shut up. What's with your attitude? Why are you talking to little brother Lu like that? Xianlong shouted and glared at Xian Zhong. Sect master? Seeing Xianlong getting angry, Xian Zhong was shocked and kept silent. Little brother Lu was entrusted by Elder Huang to come here. What's a mere 1,000 refined blood gold worth? Little brother Lu, a piece of 1,000 refined blood gold is not a problem. Xianlong said. Sect master, there's only one piece of 1,000 refined blood gold left in the sect. You said that it was for me. How can you give it to him now? Xian Zhong shouted again. Not bad. At this moment, a man in his 50s with a long beard stood up and said, Sect master, since we agreed to leave it for Zhong, then it's his. We can't just give it to him because of Old Huang's words. If Old Huang wants it, that's fine. We'll forge another piece of 1,000 refined blood gold in a few years, and I'll personally deliver it to Old Huang. This long-bearded man was the great elder of the weapon forging sect and also Xian Zhong's father, Xian Yuan. Xianlong frowned and said, Elder Huang has not only helped me but also all of you. Without him, we wouldn't be where we are today. I haven't repaid this favor for many years. Since Elder Huang has asked for it, there must be an urgent need for it. I have no reason to refuse. I have made up my mind. This 1,000 refined blood gold will be given to Brother Lu. As for Xian Zhong, you can wait a few years. No, sect master, I'm not convinced. Xian Zhong shouted, Who knows where this kid came from? Who knows if he was summoned by some old Huang? Even if he is, who does he think he is? What right does he have to take my 1,000 refined blood gold? Impossible. I won't agree to this. Xian Zhong, that piece of 1,000 refined blood gold is not yours yet. Previously, father only said that he wanted to give it to you, but it was only on purpose. At this moment, Xian Xiang glared at Xian Zhong. Xiang, even you are. Good, very good. Good, Xian Zhong said. He then looked at Lu Ming with a gloomy expression. Kid, I don't care who you are or who asked you to come. Treasures belong to the capable. If you want the 1,000 refined blood gold, fine, but let's see what you're capable of. I heard you're very strong. Come fight me. If you can defeat me, I'll give you the 1,000 refined blood gold. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. He did not expect that asking for a piece of 1,000 refined blood gold would cause such a situation. It seemed that the 1,000 refined blood gold's value was beyond his imagination. Lu Ming felt a little embarrassed. Brother Xian, there's no need for a competition. How about this? I'll buy this 1,000 refined blood gold with spiritual crystals. What do you think? Buy it with crystals? All right, I'll sell it to you as long as you can give me 10 million top-quality spiritual crystals. Xian Zhong said with a cold smile. Xian Long frowned. Lu Ming also frowned. Xianzhong. Xian Xiang glared at Xianzhong. You're obviously making things difficult for me. How can a piece of 1,000 refined blood gold cost 10 million supreme-grade spirit crystals? Xianzhong gritted his teeth and looked away from Xian Xiang. He looked at Lu Ming with contempt and said, "What's wrong? Kid, you don't have any crystals and you don't dare to fight? What genius of the Ditian Divine Guards? Bullshit, you can only deceive Xiang Xiang, who is relatively innocent. Now show your true form. In my opinion, that old Huang who called you here is also a fake." Lu Ming frowned. Seeing that Lu Ming did not say anything, Xianzhong became even more aggressive. "Brat, if you kneel down and apologize now, then get lost, I'll forgive you for deceiving me this time." "That's enough, Xianzhong. Little brother Lu has Elder Huang's token. It can't be fake. In the Tianxian region, no one can get Elder Huang's token if he doesn't want it." Xian Long scolded. Chapter 553. 553A Contest. Sectmaster, in my opinion, the reason why Elder Huang called a young man here is to test him. Let the young people solve their own problems. We should not interfere. Xian Yuan said. "All right." At this moment, Lu Ming suddenly spoke and looked at Xianzhong. "Since you want to fight, I'll accompany you." "All right, I've been waiting for you to say that. Let's have a battle outside." Seeing that Lu Ming had accepted the challenge, a cold glint flashed in Xianzhong's eyes. He strode outside. Lu Ming followed closely behind. Xian Long sighed and walked out of the hall with the other elders. "This Xianzhong, humph, he's really detestable." Xian Xiang coldly snorted. Outside the main hall was a wide square, just right for a battle. Lu Ming and Xianzhong stood opposite each other. "Brother Xian, you and I will stop here, how about it?" Lu Ming said. After all, he was the one who had come to the weapon-forging sect to ask for the 1,000 refined blood gold. Therefore, Lu Ming still felt a little embarrassed. "Stop? Hee, on the battlefield, weapons have no eyes. If you're afraid, then quickly admit defeat." Xianzhong's aura was overbearing. Lu Ming frowned again. "Buzz. And NBSP, whoosh." At this moment, Xianzhong's aura exploded. At the same time, runes appeared on his palm. With a wave of his hand, 5 spirit weapons appeared. These 5 spirit weapons were all different. There were 2 swords, a saber, a spear, and a dagger. "Kill!" Xianzhong hollered and pounced towards Lu Ming. At the same time, the 5 spirit weapons also rushed towards Lu Ming. Buzz. And NBSP, whoosh. The 5 spirit weapons flew in different directions and headed for Lu Ming's 5 vital points. His attacks were sharp and vicious. It didn't seem like a sparring session, but more like a battle on the battlefield. Lu Ming furrowed his brows. With a flash of his body, he dodged a few spirit weapons and appeared in another direction. "You want to hide? In your dreams, die." Xianzhong's eyes were filled with vicious killing intent. He waved his hands and the 5 spirit weapons continued to attack Lu Ming at lightning speed. The weapon-forging sect's method of controlling weapons was truly amazing. Lu Ming cast his movement technique and wanted to avoid it. At this moment, Xianzhong's face revealed a trace of ruthlessness as he shook his sleeves. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. More than 10 sharp air-piercing sounds were heard. More than 10 sharp steel needles flew out from Xianzhong's sleeves and pierced toward Lu Ming's eyes at an extreme speed. "Xianzhong, you're despicable!" Xian Xiang shouted. "Damn it!" Xian Long also roared, but it was too late to save him. At this moment, Xian Long was filled with regret. If he had known this would happen, he would have given Lu Ming the 1,000 refined blood gold and asked him to return to the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. If Lu Ming were to die in Xianzhong's hands, he really did not know how to explain it to Elder Huang. "You're pushing it." At this moment, Lu Ming's cold voice was heard. Boom! Then, a terrifying aura burst out from Lu Ming's body. A huge spear's gleam shot up from Lu Ming's body, stirring up the wind and clouds. The dozen or so steel needles exploded into powder the moment they touched the spear radiance. Boom! Lu Ming waved one hand and a huge spear ray swept toward Xianzhong. Bang! Bang! The 5 spirit weapons were hit by the spear light and flew thousands of meters away. The huge spear light continued to attack Xianzhong. This. Xianzhong was completely stunned. In front of Lu Ming's terrifying aura, he was like a pitiful worm. Stop! The first elder, Xian Yuan, roared. However, would Lu Ming give a damn about him? Bang! The spear light hit Xianzhong's body directly and sent him flying. He glided for 1,000 meters on the square and spurted out blood. Of course, Lu Ming had deliberately shown mercy and only used 10% of his strength. Otherwise, Xianzhong would have been blasted into smithereens. Xian Yuan hurriedly rushed over to check on Xianzhong's injuries. What powerful combat strength! He's only at the early stage of the Level 4 Martial King realm, but his combat strength should be equivalent to the late stage of the Level 5 Martial King realm, or even the peak of the Level 5 Martial King realm. Not bad. He's so young, yet he has such a cultivation and combat strength. As expected of a genius among the Empyrean Sky Divine Guards. Xianzhong's defeat was not unjustified. The elders of the weapon-forging sect discussed animatedly as they marveled at the sight. Xianzhong was also at the early stage of the Level 4 Martial King realm, but he could not even withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. If they knew that Lu Ming had only used 10% of his strength, he wondered what kind of expressions they would have. I told you that Lord Lu Ming is a peerless genius. Xianzhong just wouldn't listen. He's getting beaten up now. Xianxiang snorted coldly and walked over to look at Xianzhong with a stern face. Xianzhong's injuries were not serious. He stood up and looked at Lu Ming in shock. However, a cold, killing intent still flashed in the depths of his eyes, but he concealed it. All right, since little brother Lu has won, that piece of 1,000 refined blood gold belongs to little brother Lu. Xianlong announced. He then looked at Lu Ming and smiled. Little brother Lu, the 1,000 refined blood gold is still being nurtured in the demonic beast blood pool. You'll have to wait until tomorrow to take it out. Why don't you stay in the weapon forging sect for a night and I'll give you the 1,000 refined blood gold tomorrow. It's fine. Thank you, Sect Master Xian. Lu Ming cupped his fists. Then, Xianlong got someone to arrange a room for Lu Ming. Lord Lu Ming, I'll show you around. There are some fun places in the weapon forging sect. Xianxiang laughed. All right. Lu Ming smiled and nodded. The weapon forging sect was indeed a major weapon forging sect. There were places and secret rooms for weapon forging everywhere. Lu Ming followed Xianxiang and wandered around with great interest. As for Xianxiang, she was also very curious and kept asking questions. Since she was young, Xianxiang had always been active within tens of thousands of miles of the weapon forging sect. She had never gone far and was very curious about the outside world. Lu Ming had a good impression of Xianxiang. Although Xianxiang was a few years older than Lu Ming, she was like a naughty little sister in front of Lu Ming. Therefore, Lu Ming would briefly explain what he could say. It was not until evening that Lu Ming parted with Xianxiang and returned to his residence. After that, he entered the Supreme Shrine and placed the path-understanding ancient tree by his side. Lu Ming continued to comprehend the creation of wind. In the drawing room of the first elder of the weapon forging sect, 3 figures were seated. One of them was the great elder Xian Yuan, and the other was Xianzhong. The last one was a burly man in his 30s. Father, I'll definitely take my revenge. I'll definitely kill that little bastard Lu Ming. Xianzhong roared, his eyes filled with hatred. Don't worry, that little bastard. I don't care if he's old Huang's man or not, he must die. Xian Yuan's eyes were also cold. Father, when are we going to execute that plan? Xianzhong asked. You finally thought it through? Are we going to execute that plan? Xian Yuan said. I couldn't bear to part with that bitch Xian Xiang in the past. But now, that bitch has only seen that little bastard Lu Ming for a short time and she's already flirting with him all day long. Damn it, all of you deserve to die. Xian Zhong shouted coldly. Chapter 554. 554. A vicious scheme. It's good that you've thought it through. How can you be hindered by love when you're doing great things? Xian Yuan nodded and continued. The Heavenly Corpse sect only used 300 years to expand to its current strength. It's extremely powerful. In my opinion, it won't be long before the Heavenly Corpse sect's strength surpasses the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. The Weapon Forging sect and the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace are bound together. They will be destroyed by the Heavenly Corpse sect sooner or later. How can we die with the Weapon Forging sect? Now, the Heavenly Corpse sect has taken a fancy to a treasure in the Weapon Forging sect. They're going to start taking action soon. At that time, we'll work with the Heavenly Corpse sect from the inside and defeat the Weapon Forging sect with one strike. We'll be the Heavenly Corpse sect's heroes. A few more days? But Lu Ming, that little bastard, will be leaving after he gets the 1,000 refined blood gold tomorrow. Xian Zhong said. How about this? After Lu Ming leaves tomorrow, ask your senior brother to go with you. Kill Lu Ming on the way and take back the 1,000 refined blood gold. Xian Yuan said. Yes, master. The strong man in his 30s responded. How good. Senior brother's cultivation has already reached the peak of the 6th level of the Martial King realm. With senior brother's help, it's more than enough to kill Lu Ming. Xian Zhong laughed. Immediately after, the few of them began to conspire again. The night passed quickly. The next day, Xian Long sent a messenger. Considering that Lu Ming had been back in Tianxian City for a long time and the 1,000 refined blood gold was not used for a long time, Xian Long and the rest planned to inscribe a layer of seal on the 1,000 refined blood gold to seal its spirituality so that it would not lose its spirituality over time. Therefore, it would take some time. It would probably be in the evening. Lu Ming nodded. He did not care and continued to wait. As expected, in the evening, Xian Long asked someone to bring Lu Ming to the meeting hall. He came to the meeting hall and saw Xian Long and Xian Xiang. There were only the two of them here. Little brother, sorry to keep you waiting. That's the 1,000 refined blood gold. Xian Long said with a smile. After which, he pointed to the middle of the hall and said, You're too kind, Sect Master Xian. Lu Ming said, then looked to the middle of the hall. In the middle of the hall, there was a piece of dark red metal. This piece of metal had been polished until it was squarish, with a length, width, and height of 1/2 meter. On it, there were thousands of veined patterns that looked like tree rings. There was a layer of inscriptions shining on the surface of the 1,000 refined blood gold. It must have been an inscription formation set up by Xian Long and the others to prevent the loss of its spirituality. This was the 1,000 refined blood gold. Lu Ming walked over to pick it up and his expression changed slightly. This 1,000 refined blood gold was extremely heavy. Little brother, the 1,000 refined blood gold is forged using the weapon forging sect's secret technique. It needs to be forged 1,000 times, and each time, precious metals and demon beast blood essence are added. After 3 years, this piece of 1,000 refined blood gold weighs 99,900 jin. Xian Long laughed and was quite proud. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. This piece of 1,000 refined blood gold weighed almost 1 million pounds. Moreover, the process was so complicated, which showed how precious it was. Lu Ming expressed his gratitude once again. He then kept the 1,000 refined blood gold in his storage ring. Lord Lu Ming, please come to the weapon forging sect more often in the future. I still have many questions to ask you. Xian Xiang said with some reluctance. All right. Lu Ming smiled faintly. You little girl, you only think about going out and adventuring all day, but you don't know how dangerous it is outside. Xian Long laughed and scolded. Grandmaster Xian, Miss Xian Xiang, take care. If there's a chance, Come find me in Tianxian City. Lu Ming cupped his fists and bade farewell to Xian Long and Xian Xiang. He then left the weapon-forging sect and soared into the sky, flying in the direction of Tianxian City. He had finally obtained the 1,000 refined blood gold. Lu Ming could not wait to rush back to Tianxian City so that he could go into seclusion to comprehend the concept of wind. Once his wind mentality reached level 1 small success, it would be on par with the thunder and fire mentality. Then, his cultivation would be able to continue improving. In the blink of an eye, tens of thousands of miles had been covered. At this time, the sky had completely darkened. Whoosh! All of a sudden, a pale white saber gleam in front of him slashed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming's expression changed slightly. His body flashed and he dodged the saber gleam. In front of them, two figures appeared, walking in the air and walking towards them. Xian Zhong. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. One of them was Xian Zhong, while the other was a brawny man in his 30s. Hee, Lu Ming, let's see where you can run to now. Go to hell. The 1,000 refined blood gold is mine. Xian Zhong sneered. Xian Zhong, you really don't want to give up. I originally wanted to spare your life for Xian Xiang's sake, but you just had to come to die. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. You're talking big. My father sent a senior brother here, so you're dead. Also, don't mention that bitch Xian Xiang in front of me. That bitch is just a bitch. And that old man Xian Long, in 2 days I want them all dead. Xian Zhong's face was extremely ferocious. What do you want to do to sect Master Xian and the others? Lu Ming's face changed as he chided. Hee, what are you doing? When you're all in hell, you can discuss it together. Senior brother, kill him. Xian Zhong roared. Bang, bang. The brawny man was walking in the void, exuding an extremely powerful aura. Every step he took in the void made a banging sound. Peak Lever 6 Martial King Realm. Lu Ming's expression changed. Lu Ming, my senior brother has reached the peak of the 6th level Martial King Realm. He's only 1 step away from breaking through to the King Tier upper tier. Accept your death. Xian Zhong laughed excitedly. Die! The brawny man shouted as his muscles bulged and he slashed out. The saber ray was mighty, and the air in the sky was split in half, bringing with it a gust of wind. In an instant, the terrifying saber light was about to hit Lu Ming's head. At this moment, a long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand and he held it horizontally above his head. Clang! The saber radiance struck the spear shaft, and energy shot out in all directions. However, Lu Ming's body was like an archaic divine mountain. He did not move an inch. Phew! Xian Zhong's and the brawny man's faces changed dramatically. Peak Lever 6 Martial King Realm? Hee. Lu Ming sneered and stepped forward with his long spear in hand. Mountain-splitting slash. The brawny man roared and slashed again with all his strength. This slash was twice as powerful as the previous one. This was the brawny man's most powerful attack. But the next moment he was in despair. Lu Ming swept his long spear and the saber gleam collapsed, turning into nothingness. Not good, junior brother, run. The brawny man's expression turned extremely ugly as he roared. Whoosh! Lu Ming became one with the spear and cast a Gakudo Path attack. The spear's gleam flashed and blood shot out. The brawny man's glabella was pierced through. Then, the devouring power burst out and devoured the brawny man's blood essence. No, how could this be? Xian Zhong was so frightened that he almost cried. He ran madly towards the weapon-forging sect. Lu Ming was simply a monster. Even a Peak Lever 6 Martial King Realm expert was easily killed by him. He was not human at all. Chapter 555. 555 Returning to the weapon-forging sect. With his cultivation, how could he escape? Lu Ming took a step forward and appeared behind him. The spear hit Xian Zhong's shoulder. His body was sent flying like a meteor. Boom! Instantly, A huge pit with a diameter of dozens of meters appeared on the ground. Xian Zhong was lying in the pit, blood spurting out of his mouth. Lu Ming appeared at the edge of the pit and looked at Xian Zhong coldly. "Don't kill me, don't kill me, I beg you to let me go." Xian Zhong struggled to get up and kept begging for mercy. He was so scared that he was trembling. Now, his life was in Lu Ming's hands. He felt that he was drowning in endless fear. "You just said that in 2 days, Grandmaster Xian and the others will all die. What did you mean?" Lu Ming asked coldly. "No, nothing. I was just talking nonsense." Xian Zhong shook his head hurriedly. "If you don't want to tell me, then you can die." Lu Ming's eyes were dazed and his killing intent burst out. "No, no, wait, I'll talk. Xian Zhong screamed. Lu Ming looked at him coldly. Xian Zhong's face was covered in cold sweat. The Heavenly Corpse sect wants to snatch a treasure from the weapon forging sect. That treasure is with Xian Long. My father has already contacted the Heavenly Corpse sect. They will launch a surprise attack in 2 days and break through the weapon forging sect. What? You're actually colluding with the Heavenly Corpse sect? Lu Ming was greatly shocked. I've told you everything I know. Please let me go. Xian Zhong looked at Lu Ming with great apprehension. Now, he only wanted to save his life. He didn't care about anything else. I'll spare you. Go and plead with Grandmaster Xian and the others. Lu Ming waved his hand and a stream of vital essence surged into Xian Zhong's body, sealing his vital essence. Then, he carried Xian Zhong and flew back to the weapon forging sect. Xian Zhong's face paled in fear. Not long after, they arrived at the weapon forging sect. Someone wants to kill me. Someone wants to harm the weapon forging sect. Right at this moment, Xian Zhong's crazy shout echoed far in the silent night. Who is it? Buzz. And NBSP, whoosh. Immediately, dozens of experts flew out from various parts of the weapon forging sect. Deacon Pang, this kid wants to kill me. He wants to steal the treasure of our weapon forging sect. Xian Zhong shouted, his face was filled with ruthlessness. It's Xian Zhong. What? Brat, you're looking for death. The people from the weapon forging sect bellowed in anger and launched attacks at Lu Ming. Get out of my way. I have no ill intentions. I have something important to see Grandmaster Xian. Lu Ming shouted. Don't listen to his nonsense. He's up to no good. Quickly kill him. Xian Zhong shouted. He was going all out. When he saw Xian Long and the others, he would not be able to live if he was exposed. He might as well take a gamble now. As long as the people from the weapon forging sect killed Lu Ming, he might still have a chance of survival. Kill! The people from the weapon forging sect charged at Lu Ming in a frenzy. Get lost! Lu Ming bellowed angrily. He swept his spear and dozens of weapon forging sect experts were sent flying. Lu Ming moved and dashed toward the depths of the weapon forging sect. Help! Xian Zhong shouted. Shut up. If you scream again, I'll kill you. Lu Ming shouted angrily. Go ahead and kill. You're going to die anyway. Just kill. Xian Zhong made up his mind and shouted. Buzz. And NBSP, whoosh. At this moment, another person was charging towards them. This time, all of them were Martial King Realm experts. Lu Ming could not be bothered to explain. He sent them all flying and rushed over. Very soon he was approaching the meeting hall of the weapon forging sect. Little thief, you're looking for death. At this moment, a cold voice was heard. Then, a few sharp attacks were launched at Lu Ming. They were 2 battle blades. Father, save me. Upon hearing this voice, Xian Zhong was overjoyed. Clang! Clang! Lu Ming exerted all his strength and swept his long spear horizontally, blocking the attack of the 2 sabers. However, his body shook violently and he could not help but retreat 1,000 meters. A late-stage king tier. Lu Ming's expression changed. In front of him, Xian Yuan appeared with a few spirit weapons floating beside him. Xian Yuan's face was extremely cold. He pounced on Lu Ming like lightning without the slightest hesitation. With a wave of his hand, the two sabers turned into two cold electric arcs and slashed at Lu Ming. At the same time, there was a flash of light and three long spears appeared. They pierced through the void and stabbed toward Lu Ming. His first attack was like a storm. When Xian Yuan saw that Xian Zhong had fallen into Lu Ming's hands, he had a bad feeling. He had to kill Lu Ming with lightning-fast methods. 10,000 dragon kill. The spear shook, and hundreds of three-colored true dragons flew out, roaring. On average, each spirit weapon was attacked by close to 100 three-colored true dragons. Break! The Xian Yuan shouted coldly as he controlled the spirit weapon. A terrifying aura burst out from the spirit weapon. Bang! Bang! The three-colored true dragons exploded one by one and turned into nothingness. The 5 spirit weapons did not stop as they attacked Lu Ming. Lu Ming brandished his long spear in an airtight manner and blocked the 5 spirit weapons. Clang, clang, clang. Although the 5 spirit weapons were blocked, the terrifying chi tore through Lu Ming's defense and almost tore his body apart. He retreated a few thousand meters again and spat out a mouthful of blood. A king tier of the upper tier of the Level 7 Martial King realm is indeed powerful. Lu Ming's eyes were solemn. He had sensed that Xian Yuan's cultivation was at Level 7 Martial King realm. Still not dead, kill? Xian Yuan shouted angrily. Lu Ming's combat strength had exceeded his expectations. Xian Yuan, if you want your son to die, then continue to attack. Lu Ming blocked Xian Zhong in front of him and shouted. Father, father, save me. Xian Zhong shouted in fear. Xian Yuan's expression kept changing. In the next moment, his eyes suddenly turned cold and a hint of determination flashed in them. With a wave of his hands, the 5 spirit weapons turned into 5 bolts of lightning and shot toward Lu Ming. 2 spirit weapons charged at Xian Zhong. No, no! Xian Zhong roared. How ruthless! In order to silence him, he even killed his own son. Lu Ming's expression changed. He used the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps and retreated rapidly. Stop! Just at this moment, a cold shout rang out, and a few spirit weapons streaked across the void and collided with Xian Yuan's spirit weapon. Clang! Clang! The sound of violent collisions resounded through the sky as Xian Yuan's spiritual weapons bounced back one by one. A figure appeared in the sky. It was Xian Long. Buzz. And NBSP, whoosh. The other elders of the weapon-forging sect followed closely behind Xian Long. Xian Xiang was among them. Lord Lu Ming? What's going on? Xian Xiang looked at Lu Ming and the Xian Zhong in his hand, feeling extremely puzzled. Sect Master, Lu Ming, that little bastard, barged into the weapon-forging sect and tried to kill Zhong. Fortunately, I found out about it. I suggest that we kill him now. Xian Yuan roared, his eyes extremely cold. Ha, Xian Yuan, you've done something wrong. Are you afraid that I'll tell you and want to kill me to silence me? Lu Ming laughed heartily. Kid, what are you talking about? Why aren't you dying? Xian Yuan's killing intent soared. He controlled the spirit weapon and charged at Lu Ming. Chapter 556. 556 The start of the war. However, Xian Long moved and stood in front of Xian Yuan. I believe that little brother Lu would not attack Xian Zhong for no reason. Why don't we hear what exactly happened? Let's make things clear first. Xian Long said. Sect Master. Xian Yuan was a little anxious. All right, there's no need to say more. Xian Long waved his hand and said. The gloominess in Xian Yuan's eyes intensified. He knew that he could not kill Lu Ming with Xian Long's help. Secretly, he gave a look to one of the elders. The elder nodded slightly and slowly retreated, disappearing into the darkness without anyone noticing. Little brother Lu, what's going on? Xian Long looked at Lu Ming and asked. Yes, Lord Lu Ming, what's going on? Then, how is Xian Zhong? Xian Xiang also asked, looking at the Xianzhong in Lu Ming's hands. Sect Master Xian, when I left the weapon forging sect, I met this Xianzhong with one of his senior brothers. They tried to kill me on the way. Lu Ming said. What? Xianzhong, how dare you? Xian Long roared when he heard that. Xianzhong, you actually did such a thing. Xian Xiang also looked at Xianzhong with a face full of disappointment. Xianzhong lowered his head. His eyes were full of dejection, and he didn't say anything. Nonsense. Little bastard, it's clearly you who wanted to kill Zhong. Xian Yuan shouted again. Shut up, old man. If you don't have a fucking brain, do the others have one too? I just barged in from the outside and a group of people saw it. According to what you said, I barged in first and took Xianzhong away. Then, I barged in from the outside with Xianzhong and let you block my way? Lu Ming berated loudly. You. Xian Yuan's face turned red. He had just wanted to pin a crime on Lu Ming at the last minute. He did not expect that there would be so many flaws. How could he continue at this moment? Xian Yuan, were you the one who ordered this? Xian Long looked at Xian Yuan with an ugly expression. Wait a minute, Grandmaster Xian. Trying to kill me on the way is a small matter. Just now, I learned something from Xianzhong, which is a big matter. Lu Ming said loudly. Xian Yuan's expression changed drastically as soon as he heard this. He slowly retreated. Oh, big event? What's the big deal? Xian Long asked. Great Elder Xian Yuan has already colluded with the Heavenly Corpse sect. In 2 days, they'll work with the Heavenly Corpse sect and break through the weapon forging sect. Lu Ming said loudly. His words were like a thunderclap that exploded in the minds of everyone from the weapon forging sect. What did you just say? Xian Long was in disbelief. The others also looked at Lu Ming in disbelief. This was too shocking. Sect Master Xian, this is what Xianzhong said himself. Lu Ming said. Nonsense. You're slandering him. Sect Master, Lu Ming is trying to sow discord between us. I suggest that we kill him immediately. Xian Yuan roared. Xian Yuan, you still dare to quibble until now. However, you are really ruthless. Just now, you even wanted to kill Xianzhong to silence me. He is your biological son. Lu Ming sneered. After that, he said to Xianzhong, Xianzhong, are you still going to help your father hide the truth? He's such an unscrupulous father. When the Heavenly Corpse sect raised the weapon forging sect to the ground, everyone you know will die. What's the point of your life then? Also, there's nothing going on between me and Xianxiang. On the contrary, she told me that she likes you, but you always misunderstand her. Lu Ming's words made Xianzhong's body tremble slightly. He raised his head and looked at Xianxiang. Xianzhong, what happened? Tell me. Xianxiang shouted. Xianzhong's eyes flickered. Then he looked decisive and said to Xian Yuan, Father, let's stop. We've made great contributions to the weapon forging sect for generations. I believe that the sect master and the elders will forgive us. Let's stop. His words were like a sudden clap of thunder. Everyone's eyes turned to Xian Yuan. Xian Yuan, how dare you? Xian Long roared, his hair and beard all standing up. Evil creature, you're really useless. You can't achieve great things when you're trapped by love. If I had known this earlier, I would have killed you. Xian Yuan looked at Xianzhong coldly. Then he looked at Lu Ming and sneered. Little bastard, you ruin my plan. I want you to die without a burial place. With that, Xian Yuan quickly retreated. Not good, he's leaving. Lu Ming shouted. Stay here. The Xian dragon roared and chased after Xian Yuan. Xiang, please forgive me, forgive me. Xianzhong shouted. Xiang looked at Xianzhong with disappointment. Her face gradually turned cold as she said, This time, if not for Lord Lu Ming, you and your father would have colluded with the Heavenly Corpse sect and attacked the weapon forging sect. How can I forgive you? Xiang turned her head and no longer looked at Xianzhong. Xianzhong's face was filled with despair. Clang. Clang. At this moment, Xianlong and Xianyuan had already exchanged a blow, and Xianyuan retreated rapidly. Hoo-hoo! At this moment, the sound of something breaking through the air rang out around the weapon-forging sect. Pitch-black coffins appeared around the weapon-forging sect. The Heavenly Corpse sect is attacking. The Heavenly Corpse sect is attacking. From all directions, a series of screams rang out. Ha, now, you're all going to die. Xianyuan laughed crazily. Damn it, activate the formation, activate the formation. Xianlong roared. But, in the next moment, the sounds of explosions and screams rang out from the surroundings of the weapon-forging sect. Ah! Ah! At the scene, a few elders suddenly made a move and tried to assassinate the other elders of the weapon-forging sect. The elders were instantly killed. You guys? Xianlong roared, and his eyes were about to spit fire. It was obvious that these people had all defected. Ha, Xianlong, I've been in the weapon-forging sect for many years. How can I not have anyone? Xianyuan sneered. Traitor, traitor, kill. The weapon-forging sect was in a state of chaos as shouts of killing could be heard. At this moment, the coffin of the Heavenly Corpse sect opened, and corpse guards and refined corpses flew out. They charged into the weapon-forging sect and began a great battle. In an instant, the weapon-forging sect was plunged into the flames of war. Xianyuan, you deserve to die. The Xian dragon roared and pounced toward Xianyuan. Don't think I'm afraid of you. Xianyuan roared and started fighting with Xianlong. Both of them were at the upper tier of the Level 7 Martial King realm, and their battle was extremely intense. Xianlong, hand over the recondite steel heavy sword and I'll leave your corpse intact. An old corpse guard in a black robe silently appeared not far away and said coldly. So what you want is the recondite steel heavy sword. You guys are going to the ancient desolate city? Xianlong seemed to have thought of something, and his face changed. Hee, hurry up and hand over the recondite steel heavy sword. I know it's in your storage ring. The old corpse guard roared. Little brother Lu, quickly take Xiang away. Lu Ming. Xianlong suddenly shouted at Lu Ming. Chapter 557. 557 Chapter 557 Chaotic Battle. Leave? I still want her blood as a guide. How can we let her go? Capture that girl for me. Be careful, don't kill her. The old corpse guard waved his hand, and a few corpse guards instantly controlled the refined corpses to charge at Xuanxiang. Kill! Xianxiang shouted in anger and controlled a few spirit weapons to charge at the corpse guards. At this moment, Lu Ming threw Xianzhong onto the square of the weapon-forging sect. He dashed towards a few corpse guards and refined corpses and swept his long spear across, causing a few corpse guards to explode. Kill that brat! The old corpse guard shouted coldly, and more corpse guards charged at Lu Ming. There were at least 10 corpse guards with more than 20 refined corpses. The iron chains covered the sky and wrapped around Lu Ming and Xianxiang. Let's go! Lu Ming pulled Xianxiang and retreated rapidly, avoiding the entanglement of the iron chain. At this moment, there were battles everywhere. There were battles between weapon-forging sect disciples and the Sky Corps sect's corpse guards, as well as internal conflicts within weapon-forging sect itself. Damn traitor! Lu Ming saw an angry weapon-forging sect disciple chopping off Xianzhong's head in the square below. In the end, Xianzhong still died at the hands of a weapon-forging sect disciple. All of this was seen by Xianxiang. She bit her red lips, her eyes red, and didn't say a word. Catch that little girl! In the surroundings, a group of corpse guards controlled the refined corpses and rushed toward Lu Ming and Xianxiang. Why do they want to capture Profound Fragrance? Just now, Grandmaster Xian had called out the ancient barren city? Could it be the desolate ancient city in the east of Tianxian? Lu Ming's mind was racing. Whoosh! A battle sword pierced through the air and cut off the heads of 5 to 6 corpse guards. It was Qianlong. He controlled the combat sword to help Lu Ming and the others. Lu Ming, take Xiangxiang and go to Tianxian City quickly. I'm counting on you. Qianlong shouted. In the weapon forging sect, only Qianlong and Xianyuan were king tiers at the upper tier. The other elders were all lower tier king tiers. None of them had Lu Ming's combat strength. Qianlong could only rely on Lu Ming now. All right. Lu Ming agreed. He pulled Xianxiang and retreated rapidly. Don't even think about leaving. A cold voice suddenly came from behind. Whoosh, whoosh. The sound of iron chains breaking through the air was heard as they wrapped around Lu Ming and Xianxiang. Get lost. Lu Ming shouted, and the spear's radiance, which was 1,000 meters long, swept out. However, Lu Ming's expression changed drastically at the next moment. The spear ray was pierced by the iron chain, which continued to wrap around them. A late-stage king tier. Lu Ming was shocked. It was definitely a refined corpse at the level of a king. With me here, you still want to leave? How is that possible? Behind him, a middle-aged corpse guard controlled 2 refined corpses. They exuded a terrifying aura and closed in on Lu Ming. Lord Lu Ming, leave quickly. Don't worry about me. Xianxiang shouted. Let's go together. Lu Ming pulled Xianxiang and rushed in another direction. However, the iron chains hung in the air, sealing off all escape routes. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming exchanged a few blows with him. His body trembled and blood seeped out of his mouth. With his current battle power, he was still a distance away from a late-stage king. There was a dividing line between Level 3 and Level 4 Martial King Realm, and there was also a dividing line between Level 6 and Level 7 Martial King Realm. The 7th level of the Martial King Realm was considered as a king tier of the upper tier, and its combat strength was 2 levels higher than that of the 6th level. Whoosh! Whoosh! The iron chain flew across the sky and kept attacking Lu Ming. Clang! Clang! At this time, 2 combat swords flew over and hit the iron chain away. It was Qianlong who controlled the combat swords to help. Qianlong, you dare to be distracted while fighting with me? You're looking for death. Xianyuan shouted coldly. His combat weapon flew and attacked. Qianlong was distracted and was hit by Xianyuan's spear. A bloody hole appeared on his shoulder. If Qianlong didn't dodge in time, his heart would have been pierced. Father! Xianxiang was shocked and extremely worried. At this moment, the sound of something breaking through the air could be heard. The middle-aged corpse guard appeared behind Lu Ming and grabbed at him. Lu Ming hurriedly turned around and thrust his spear. This middle-aged corpse guard was also a king tier at the 7th level of the Martial King Realm. Although the corpse guard's combat strength was not strong, it was still above Lu Ming. Bang! With one move, Lu Ming's body was sent flying backward. Not good. Lu Ming could not help but let go of Xianxiang's hand. Whoosh! Whoosh! Immediately, a few iron chains rolled up the profound incense and pulled it into the distance. I've got the girl, but I'm still short of the recondite steel heavy sword. The old corpse guard sneered. He was also a late-stage king, and he was controlling a refined corpse to kill an elder of the weapon forging sect. One by one, the elders died under his refined corpse. Fragrance! Qianlong let out a roar and controlled the 3 combat swords to slash at the chain that was holding Xianxiang. However, the refined corpse that had caught Xianxiang was already at the level of a late-stage king. How could Qianlong save it? The iron chain flew out and knocked away the 3 combat swords. You still dare to be distracted, you're looking for death. Xianyuan revealed a cold smile. When Qianlong was distracted, Xianyuan seized the opportunity and attacked him fiercely. Puchi! This time, Qianlong's arm was cut off by Xianyuan. The mysterious dragon roared like a wild lion. Ha! The storage ring is mine. Xianyuan was overjoyed, and Xian Long threw the arm to the old corpse guard. "Father, father!" In the distance, Xian Xiang anxiously shouted. Bang! Lu Ming's spear sent a few refined corpses of lower-tier king level flying, and he charged toward Xian Long. "Brat, if you want to save people, die." The middle-aged corpse guard controlled a refined corpse to block Lu Ming's way. "Damn you, Dan Dan, smash!" Lu Ming patted Dandan. Buzz! Dandan flew out, rapidly growing in size, and smashed towards the middle-aged corpse guard's face. Bang! The middle-aged corpse guard couldn't avoid it at all and was directly smashed in the face. "Ah!" He screamed in pain. His face was almost smashed. He retreated frantically and controlled the refined corpse to block in front of him. Such a meticulous mind. Lu Ming felt that it was a pity. Originally, he wanted to use Dan Dan's sneak attack to kill a king-level corpse guard, but this corpse guard immediately controlled the refined corpse to block in front of him, so he didn't have a chance. Lu Ming dashed past and charged at Xian Long. At this moment, Xuanxiang was surrounded by a pile of refined corpses. She wanted to save him, but she had no chance. At this moment, Xian Long was in a critical situation. One of his arms had been cut off. He was no match for Xian Yuan and was at a disadvantage. Boom! Lu Ming's momentum was like a rainbow. He was practically invincible under the level of a king tier. No corpse guard or refined corpse could stop him. This kid is looking for death. The old corpse guard's eyes were cold. He controlled a refined corpse at the level of a king and charged at Lu Ming. At the same time, he rushed toward Xian Long. Not good. A Gakudo path attack. Lu Ming became one with his spear and turned into a ray of spear light. The refined corpse and corpse guards in front of him were all sent flying. Lu Ming's figure flashed and appeared not far from the Xian Long. But at this time, the old corpse guard and Xian Yuan had already surrounded and attacked Xian Long. Xian Long was already no match for him. Now that he was besieged, he was hit again and was covered in blood. Dandan, smash! Lu Ming shouted. Die! The old corpse guard's claw clawed towards the profound dragon's heart. Chapter 558. 558 Destruction, Promise. Bang! The first one that was hit was Xian Yuan. Ard. Xian Yuan screamed. Even a late-stage king was smashed by Dandan. His face was smashed into pieces. How could Xian Long let go of this opportunity? Die, traitor! Xian Long controlled the 3 combat swords and slashed at Xian Yuan. Clang! Clang! In a panic, Xian Yuan only managed to block 2 swords, but he failed to block the third. The third combat sword slashed over and cut off Xian Yuan's head. A late-stage king was killed just like that. But at the same time, the old corpse guard's claw pierced through Xian Long's chest and crushed his heart. Damn it, Dan Dan, smash! Lu Ming bellowed and smashed the old corpse guard's face. The old corpse guard screamed and quickly retreated, but he was still smashed by Dandan, and his face was beyond recognition. Buzz! Lu Ming rushed over, grabbed Xian Long, and broke through rapidly. At the same time, he used his true energy to sweep Xian Yuan's body into the Supreme Shrine. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming swept his long spear and the refined corpses were swept away one by one. He then charged out at high speed. Damn it! Stop him! Stop him! I want him dead! The old corpse guard screamed and controlled the refined corpse to surround them. This time, the Heavenly Corpse sect had moved ahead of schedule and only sent 2 king tiers of the upper tier. There were no king tiers of the upper tier in the direction that Lu Ming was breaking out of. There were no king tiers at the level of the upper tier. Those below the level of a king tier could not withstand Lu Ming's attack. The refined corpses were sent flying like sandbags. Gakudo Path Attack. In the end, Lu Ming cast a Gakudo Path attack and rushed out 5 miles away. Then he took a deep breath, circulated his true essence, and took a step forward, appearing 10 miles away. Chase, chase. The old corpse guard roared and controlled the king-level refined corpse to chase after him. However, Lu Ming's 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps continued and he was far away in an instant. A few minutes later, Lu Ming had already covered a distance of nearly 10,000 miles. Xianlong kept coughing out blood and his face was as pale as paper. Lu Ming chose a hidden place and landed. He placed Xianlong on the ground. "Little brother Lu, I'm begging you. You must save Xiangxiang." The profound dragon transformation coughed up blood as he spoke. His heart had been crushed, and he had only managed to hold on because of his powerful body and profound cultivation. If it had been an ordinary person, he would have died from such injuries. "Grandmaster Xian, I'll help you heal." Lu Ming placed his palm on Xianlong's back. A vast amount of vital essence gushed into Xianlong's body. Lu Ming's vital essence was the War Dragon Vital Essence. It was very effective. Xianlong's face regained some color. "Little brother, don't waste your Zhenyuan, your heart has exploded, there's nothing you can do." "Little brother, I have a few things to tell you." Xianlong panted. "Please speak, Sect Master Xian." Lu Ming said. "If I'm not wrong, the Heavenly Corpse sect seized the Xian family's black iron heavy sword and then kidnapped Xiangxiang. They must have gone to the eastern barren city, opened the barren ancient tomb in the city, and taken out the corpse in the tomb to refine it into a peerless refined corpse. They must have gone to the east. Little brother, I beg you, please help me save Xiangxiang." After saying that, Xianlong actually struggled and wanted to kneel down to Lu Ming. "Grandmaster Xian, what are you doing? I promise you, I will definitely save Xiangxiang." Lu Ming said firmly. "Good, that's good. Little brother, this storage ring was left to me by Xiangxiang's mother. Can you pass it to him on my behalf?" Xianlong took off his storage ring and passed it to Lu Ming. "Don't worry, Sect Master Xian. Lu Ming will do what he says." Lu Ming took the storage ring and kept it. "Grandmaster Xian, what is your relationship with the ancient barren city?" Lu Ming was a little curious. Lu Ming remembered that the peerless genius of the ancient barren city, Xian Feng, had the same surname as Xianlong and the rest. The Xian family of the weapon forging sect used to be part of the Xian family of the ancient desolate city. They also have 2 recondite steel heavy swords. According to the legends of the Xian family, if the 2 recondite steel heavy swords were to be used together to open the tomb of the ancients, it would be a great disaster for the Xian family. So, 10,000 years ago, our branch left the desolate ancient city with the recondite steel heavy sword and came here to prevent the 2 recondite steel heavy swords from meeting. Unfortunately, the Heavenly Corpse sect still found out about it. They will definitely bring Xiangxiang to the desolate ancient city and seize the other recondite steel heavy sword. Once the desolate ancient tomb is opened, the Xian family will be finished. Xianlong explained. At this point, Xianlong's life force was getting weaker and weaker. There was no turning back. "Little brother, Xiangxiang, I'll leave it to you." In the end, Xianlong said his last words, and his vitality dissipated. He died. "AI." Lu Ming sighed. He dug a hole at the side and buried Xianlong. However, there was no tombstone. If the Heavenly Corpse sect found the tombstone, they would probably refine the corpse into a refined corpse. "Don't worry, Grandmaster Xian. Since I've made a promise, I'll do my best to fulfill it." Lu Ming cupped his fists and rose into the air. He retracted his aura and returned to the weapon forging sect. "Quick, take everything you can. Hurry up." As Lu Ming approached the weapon forging sect, he heard shouts. Lu Ming flew high up in the sky and looked down, but he didn't see any trace of Xianxiang. Not only that, but he also didn't see the 2 corpse guards of the king level. Where did they take the profound fragrance? Lu Ming was deep in thought. After a while, some corpse guards flew towards the north. Lu Ming followed from a distance. They flew at least hundreds of thousands of miles north. In front of them was a huge mountain filled with smoke. Those corpse guards all flew into that huge mountain. Lu Ming stopped a few hundred miles away. He didn't dare to go any further. He guessed that it was one of the heavenly corpse sect's old nests in the Tianxian region. There were definitely many experts inside. It would be dangerous if he got too close and was discovered. Lu Ming found a hidden place and hid himself well. Could profound fragrance have been brought here? Or have they already set off for the east? Lu Ming furrowed his brows in deep thought. I don't care. I will wait here for 2 days. If I still don't see the profound fragrance, I will rush to the east. Dandan, you stay here and keep watch. If there's anything, inform me. I'll cultivate first. Lu Ming placed Dandan on the ground and entered the Supreme Shrine. Xian Yuan's body was on a platform in the Supreme Shrine. Lu Ming did not want to waste the blood essence of a phenomenal success king. The 9-dragon bloodline appeared and devoured Xian Yuan's blood essence. Lu Ming took off Xian Yuan's storage ring. Then he waved his hand and a wisp of flame appeared, burning Xian Yuan's body to ashes. Lu Ming sat cross-legged and began to refine the blood essence of the Xian Yuan. The blood essence of a late-stage king was simply too dense. Lu Ming used all of it to improve his 9-dragon bloodline. 2 hours later, the 6 Esilavir chakras of the 9-dragon bloodline became extremely brilliant. Right then, with a sound of hum, a new chakra appeared. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Immortal Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.